Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers Live. It's 1 p.m. Holy mackerel, I can't believe it. Trucks are starting up everywhere. It is time to get going. Yes, Monday, 1 p.m. What's happening out there? I see Al was here first. Thank you for being here today. Trucker Hershey is here. What's going on? William Richardson is out there. That is great. Waiting for the stream to catch up with me. There's some kind of delay. They delay in case I say some naughty thing or something. I'm not sure how they do that. Look, today let's talk about personal conveyance today, and we're going to do a Crete update, and some Black Smoke Matters is coming up this week. Will everybody be at work Friday? We will find out. Gustavo, what's happening? Not first today. Mad Maldy, good to see you here today. Donald, I might be talking to the cardboard recruiter. At least that person, would probably tell me more than the actual recruiter did. And so there's an update on that too. They sent a message out about me, but not to me, of course. Companies like that can't discuss stuff, personally with you, which I just love. I love that happening. All right. Have you listened to the podcast? I say that all the time. You should go and download it in your favorite thing. There's a link for it on my site. Probably every Tuesday, I'm thinking, for the podcast. Look, FMCSA came out at the truck show and talked about personal conveyance and the problems that they're having, and, some things that drivers are doing wrong and some things that drivers shouldn't do wrong. Here's the thing. They're saying just don't overthink it. Don't overthink the personal conveyance. Just don't overthink it. Hey, Noah, what's going on? Nick Gurr is my biggest fan. Nick Gurr should be on the show. Hello out there. Thank you. I appreciate it. He can start the fan club, which I would appreciate very much. Personal conveyance, right? The thing is, are you doing work at the request of the motor carrier? That's what the FMCSA was talking about. You should ask yourself that before you use personal conveyance time. All right, so are you doing work for the motor carrier? We don't know. And is the move for a business purpose or a non-business purpose? All right, so is it non-business? If it has nothing to do with freight, then it can be personal conveyance if your company allows it. Some companies don't allow any personal conveyance time, but that's not a DOT issue. That's an issue with your company, not overall the DOT. They're dealing with mega sensitive secret squirrel stuff. Yeah. If they dealt with me, they don't want to tell me all their secrets over there. Exactly. What's going on, Jared? Hello. Thank you for being here today, Adco. Hello out there. Night Rider. Oh, right. Got you up early. Sorry. Doing great out here today. It's going to be super warm today. Evil Ken Evil is here today. I guess if, Crete came over, what about this? Holy mac, we don't want that. That'd be very bad, right? If driving isn't for your company, Donald, I don't know where that sentence fragment is. Another truck broke down. Yikes, ABS system, just like the one, at least you're in Laredo. But it's probably, look, if it's going to be 70 here, it's probably 90 degrees in Laredo today. Holy mackerel. The White Knight is here. You just did 694 miles with a 65-mile-an-hour truck. No, it's impossible. You can't make any money with ELDs. Black Smoke Matters is going to tell us that at the end of the week here today. It's just impossible. Sorry. Hey, Edgar, what's going on? It's good to see you here today. Brian, hello. Joshua from Girard, Ohio. Hello, what's happening out there? And Reed, can I say hi to Hugh Janis? Hugh Janis, what's going on? A big shout-out out there. It's shout-out day. Dirty Socks, what's happening today? That's really good. Hopefully we get those taken care of, right? Hugh Janis is Hugh Jazz's bro. Maybe. That's possible. Am I coming to GATS? I don't know about GATS yet. We'll see about GATS as we get closer to that. Right. Trucker Hershey, 93 at 5 today. Yikes. Keep trucking ELD is an option that the DOT inspection option. You pretty much lock the tab and it shows nothing but the logs. Can they request to unlock it? I don't know about each different kind. I'm sorry. There's like 100 different kinds. I'm not sure about that on the locking and unlocking of each one. Although, the DOT said the main problem drivers are having is that they can't transfer the data to the DOT. That's one of their huge problems. So Chris is going to start Crete Wednesday. Oh, don't mention my name. That may not do good over there. But yeah, I've recommended the place and still do. I hope you do good there. Please let us all know how it goes out there at Crete. 69 in Worthington, Minnesota. Yeah, so Laredo's what, like 117 today. Anyone else having a slowdown in LTL? I don't know. What do you know about Danny Herman Trucking? DHT, not much. The truck is in the shop. That isn't good. After you lock it, all they need is to verify that your hours of service. You have to be able to transfer your hours of service to them. That's one of the things they talked about that drivers are having a difficult time doing. If you don't know how to transfer your hours of service to the DOT, that's a violation. James, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it today. Do I like your name? Yeah, I mean, it's certainly Icewall. It's certainly interesting. It's supposed to be 103 on Wednesday. That's what I'm saying. Yikes already. You're also with Crete. You're surprised they have nothing to hide. I know. That's what I'm surprised. You've been driving for 20 years. You make $1,400 a week, exactly 70 grand. Look, here's the thing. I had a problem with them. The recruiters were less than forthcoming and were very low energy, right? And so they came out and said that they're not going to give me the attention that I'm seeking by responding to my video of them. All I said is, they weren't answering questions, and so I sent them an email, right, and said, hey, why aren't your recruiters answering questions? They didn't answer that email. All right, by not answering, they're not answering my questions. That is the exact definition of not answering questions. So then they came out with this, and here's the thing about it, which will be out in a video later. Who does better on the mention, them or me? We're at over 15,000 subscribers. Crete's at like 3,500. So when somebody mentions somebody, they do better on it than me, and maybe that's why they go, oh, well, we'll just put this out there on the sly. Some of you sent it to me, which I appreciate very much, on their Facebook page, and they know I'll mention them. Look, I'm cutting the live show and going to show what the Crete recruiters did, which is sit there and not answer questions. They couldn't even be bothered to get up. They just couldn't get up. So we're going to show that on there and show that, it's not me seeking attention. I'm just seeking answers. That's all I'm trying to seek, What are we debating today? Well, the personal conveyance, Crete, Black Smoke Matters. I have a dash cam video I'm going to show here in a minute, too, of a truck, like, super tailgating a car. It's crazy. Oh, got it. Right. Okay, Mr. Hand. Very clever. Dang it. Right. I'm just not on it today. Randall. Oh, are you still in Iowa? They need to get you out of there. I mean, holy mackerel. I answered the email. I'm really surprised at some of the stuff that you said, really. Yeah, the troll vibe. Right. I didn't get it. Didn't get it. You received a level 3 and a level 2 inspection. Both found no violations, so it's been a good week. Good. I hope your company pays you something extra for that. Sometimes they give us like a Subway gift card, which is like nothing, right? Crete doesn't guarantee Christmas home. That'd be unusual. Most companies at least want to get you home anyway. You got a Super 10 and a 1972 Pinto. I had a 72 or 73, I don't remember what year, Vega GT. But it didn't have a Super 10, so it actually was fast, unlike that, which would slow the Pinto down, of course. And don't back it up in either of the reverse gears, certainly. The White Knight, no Christmas guarantee to get home, but they should try to get you home anyway. Guys do line haul for 80 to 100. Yeah, it certainly seems to be the best way to go. We have people write in from these LTL companies all the time. It is pure ignorance. I don't understand why they would come out and say something like that. Hey, Mark, what's going on? It's Mark here too, right? You like Subway. It is. Look, it's okay. I'm saying that, it's only $5 that they put on the card or whatever. It's not like it's some kind of huge bonus or whatever for you doing that. Considering some companies give you a couple of $100, I just think it's kind of, it's kind of low of them to do it, really. It could be, more than $5. I guess it doesn't have to be anything, and that's their take on it. We don't have to give you anything. Oh, okay. Well, that's a good way to put it, I guess. It's fine for you to stay out and you like it out there. Look, if it's working for you, absolutely. And I still like the company. Their response to their recruiters. If I had recruiters that weren't answering questions, it would really bother me as a company. Especially if somebody writes in and says, "Look, I was here, and you didn't answer questions." It's not like they're saying, well, they weren't presented in the right light. It was a live show. It's not like you can manipulate that. It was live. The recruiters didn't get up and answer my questions. I wrote to them. They didn't answer it. And so there you go. And so I don't know what else to say about it, Something is better than nothing, only barely better than nothing. Cash is king. What's going on today? Hey, what's happening? Couple $100 a Subway. Oh, that would be nice. They put $200 on a Subway card. At least they could put everybody in some kind of drawing for, $20 or something. See, Mad Melody, you get 150 and 20. That's even better. At least $20 you can get the chips with it. You can make it a meal. You were on another trucker channel discussing the reality of buying a $10,000 used truck. Ugh. Is it feasible or a nightmare? Well, as you know, I'm not an owner-operator. I'm not a big fan of it. Is it possible? Yeah, I bought a $200 car once and drove it for, almost 2 years and put hardly any work in it. So it's possible. It's certainly possible. Could it be a nightmare? Yeah. It could be a bankruptcy nightmare, or it could be the smartest thing you ever did. I'd certainly at least have a mechanic, a truck mechanic, pay them. Somebody that doesn't work for that company, or wherever you're buying it, take it somewhere, pay a mechanic to tell you everything that's wrong with it. That's well worth a few $100s or whatever that would cost. Thomas is checking in eastbound in St. Louis to Atlanta by 7. Wow, that's a good run there. Gian Medina, right. Hey, what's going on out there? What do they pay the recruiters to travel to a show and not be congenial? I don't understand it. That's what I mentioned, too, to them, is that you pay these people. They're in a motel. They should have to take Greyhound like the students do, but I'm sure they don't. Then rental car, food, and then they can they at least get up. The one guy never even looked up from his phone, which I'll show in the video, right, that I'm going to have out later this week. The one person, and they're in the corner of the booth, okay? You want to sell something? They're selling their company. Selling it. Okay, so you better be out there and sell it. There's tons of competition. Get out there and sell it. Sell that place. Don't sit there. Oh, yeah, what do you want? What if you wanted to buy a car like that? That's what I was thinking. And the guy just yells at you from his office. You go, I have some questions. And he goes, yeah, here's 800-829-FORD is the answer, because he gave me the number to Crete's recruiting number. I go, well, I have questions for you. Well, you can just call Ford and get him. It just didn't make any sense to me. And so they say that's manipulated. We'll see about that, right? Sierra England said, good job. Keep doing the good work for level 1 with no violations. Good. You should pass. Their trucks are new. Now, do they inspect each bunk there, or do they only inspect one bunk? What's the commotion with the FMCSA and changes to the hours of service? We have heard back from the government and small carrier. You're not going to get an exemption for small carriers. I'm going to tell you that's probably going to be Zippo, and it wouldn't really be fair. So I think that's out. The hours of service changes, she said at the truck show that, hey, the changes have been submitted to the government. As soon as they're approved by the Office of Management and Budget, they will be posted for public comment, at which time we'll all get to see them, and I'll immediately put them out there. But right now, they're supposedly the rules are ready and submitted, but we're not allowed to see them yet, so we don't know exactly what they'll be. I'll tell you, small carrier exemption is going to be probably no way. That's not really fair. So, can you tell us the reason why I never got into owner-operator? I didn't see it as a way to make good money. It's much less risk for me to drive someone else's truck, have them fix it, and just pay me. I think that's a better way to do it for me. I'm not saying being an owner-operator is bad. Some people love it. It's for them. It just isn't for me. There's a lot of risk involved. And the benefits now are super expensive. If you want to buy all the benefits that you get at a good company, it would cost you tons of money. And so at the end of that, would you come out ahead? Maybe. Maybe not. See, like when I take vacation, I get paid. When you take vacation as an owner-operator, you don't get paid anything. So, and plus it's easier to transfer companies. If you don't like where you're working, you just quit. As an owner-operator, you got a big truck. So for me, it isn't worth it. For other people, they make it work and love it. You are in Baton Rouge getting loaded. Where's that load going? Is that like from BP or one of those oil places down there? Hey, good afternoon. What's going on, Alex? Todd? Yeah, what's happening from Landstar? 80 degrees in Benton, Arkansas. Oh, are you picking up over there at Walmart? You're new to trucking, Brian, and your company tried to force you to pick up a load, but the trailer didn't have a license plate. Nice. I said no because of the violation. They said just write the plate number on cardboard. That doesn't pass an inspection. All right. But, it's such a small thing. You got to decide, it's a choice that you make. But I agree with you. Look, they should fix it or give you a different load. I totally agree. Write it on cardboard. kind of lousy company is that? If you want to tell us, that'd be great. Don't tell me it's England. You have to say it's because of one of the last shows. 2 England trucks parked next to me a couple of days ago and saw 4 people per truck get out. Gosh. Can you have a passenger in there too besides the 3 people in the truck? Holy mackerel. Could RVT be trucking's next Tony Robbins? It's possible. It is possible. Hey, Amanda, what's going on? Yeah, me and the wife are doing good, and the vice president in charge of napping is napping, of course. But yes, thank you. We're doing great out here. I hope it's being wonderful for you. Trump fired that office. Starting a new job on Monday with Big R. Oh, really? There's a Big R here in town. Maybe you'll come to town sometime in Lafayette. I do care what your wife said about you. You're all right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good afternoon from Amarillo. Yeah, that's great. Amarillo, Texas. I was stationed down there at near there, at San Angelo, I guess. Trucking companies sell people, I guess not anywhere near there, thinking about it. Trucking companies sell people dreams. How they can tell a driver how much they're going to make. Everyone doesn't make the same. Yeah, they could just give you an average. Here's the mileage. It's tough to say unless you're on some kind of salary. You know, and plus if you don't like your dispatcher or they don't like you, some places have a lot of politics. Just you might be in the wrong spot that week. They just got to tell people something. If they told people we don't know what you'll make, no one would ever come there, really. I have you thinking about getting back in a truck? Yeah, it's time. It is time. We need you out here in the industry. Shirley, BP, right. Going to Lenoir City, Tennessee. That's awesome. It's Ohio. In Ohio, it feels warm like Arizona in the summer. That's great. So when they say kettle trucks have an exemption, does that mean they run paper logs and can lie? Well, they do get to drive longer. They don't have to take their 30-minute break and stuff like that because the cattle would die. And so they're getting that type of exemption, the no ELD, no 30-minute break. I'm not 100% on all the exemptions for cattle and bees, as someone chastised me on the show for agricultural, that kind of thing. But yeah, they get an exemption so the cattle don't die. Not being able to get up, must have had a long night partying. Yes, we were all partying last night. I was partying until nearly 10, right? Look, Mr. Hand, I didn't get it. Good afternoon from Syracuse. At least the snow's melting finally. Is Night Transportation a good company? I like they don't have a contract there, and they pay you in training. So while you're in training there, they are paying you. Have I ever discussed anything about Valley Transportation Service, Grand Meadow? No, I don't think so. Red Wine, hello, what's going on? This personal conveyance also cannot be used for maintenance. They wanted to talk about that too, the FMCSA. So anytime you take the truck for service, no matter how you're taking it back and forth, personal conveyance cannot be used for that. They specifically listed that. So don't mess it up on your personal conveyance when you're doing it. Also, they said 1% of the trucks they stop don't have an ELD yet. What are we doing out there? If you're pulled over by that, it would be a domino effect of violations because the trailers here are garbage. Well, then it's another reason to leave. But the company is Central. If you know who I mean, can't say no. I don't exactly know. You can always write to me, if you want that way. But look, here's the thing. If they do that kind of stuff, they're okay with violations. If the trailers and stuff are garbage, it's time to move on. Oh no, it wouldn't be Central Oregon, right? That's one of the best companies going out there. But seriously, if they have bad equipment and they're willing to do violations, that's just going to affect you later. If you start getting violations because of them, say they pay them all, it doesn't matter. It still goes against your record. So you're going to have all these CSA points, and you're going to have a tough time getting another job in the future. So you really want to think about that now when you still have a good record there, really. When you have a live load of cattle, I knew somebody would know about this, you can't stop it for a short amount of time. Pretty much fuel and bathroom. Other than that, they run straight to the receiver. Yeah, because they don't like being in there. Because we want them to be in good shape before we murder them. That's what they're saying. I should look into Pride Transport. You see, cattle people get those ELD exemptions, so really it's still an unfair game. They can do it, but not the small companies. Well, I mean, there is a legit reason to keep the cattle moving. When you stop, it gets hot in there. There really kind of is. And they're not really a competition to most companies. How many cattle haulers are there as a percentage of truck drivers? And they're not competing with me or probably most everybody here. They're in like a really niche market. But there's a legit reason the cattle die before we murder them. You drive for Volp and love it. Only a 25 truck fleet. That's really small. I've always been against that, not for people, but just for me because of the benefits. So what do you think about, that side of it, the benefit side of it? You don't get the benefits of a larger company because it's only 25 trucks. That's personally for me, kind of like not being an owner operator. That kind of thing works for a lot of people working for small companies, and most companies are small companies. You talk to your company about on-duty time, and they told you that they sign a waiver. Oh, nice. Stating you're relieved from duty while getting loaded. They sign a waiver. I was wondering what your thoughts are. How do they sign a waiver to relieve you from being on duty? If you have a sleeper, you can, of course, be in the sleeper, that kind of thing. The on-duty, off-duty. So this thing you can be off-duty. Off-duty specifically says that you have to be able to pursue activities of your own choosing. Your own choosing. Do you choose can you leave the property? That kind of thing. So, if you can't leave the property, that's a tough one. And if they signed a waiver, you would have to have that waiver with you. The vegan trucker girl, what's my opinion on the automation of trucks? Thank you very much, by the way. My opinion on the automation of trucks is we're looking at decades away. They have a few of these trucks they put out there that they try to drive around. It is decades before they actually get anywhere. The automation parts are horrible that are in the trucks now. They can't even read. They read road signs, bridge over abutments. The trucks that they have like Otto and these other companies like that, they have tons of sensors and stuff on them, hundreds of $1,000s of sensors. For that to make it into the industry, decades before it is anywhere near taking anybody's job, believe me. People that are young right now in their teens could probably start driving and maybe start seeing it at the end of their career. Is Highway Through Hell quasi-staged? I don't know. I mean, I've watched some of those shows. I kind of like it, watching it. A lot of Canadian references on there. I don't know how much of that stuff they stage, kind of like Ice Roads. Cows do stuff continuously when in motion. Yeah, just like drivers. That's why you have to get there as fast as you can. And by the way, for new drivers, never walk by a cattle hauler, okay? Keep your distance. There's holes in the side of the trailer. That's what we're going to say about that. Oh, so it's a union company, so you get good benefits. So you have the benefit of having a union there to get you the benefits. Exactly. So you're still getting the large company benefits because of the union. Am I familiar with the Keep Truckin' app? Does a mobile app qualify as the ELD? Yes, you can use it on your phone. I live in Canada. No, I don't know about Canada. Where they're still legal on paper, but you live 30 miles from the Ambassador Bridge. I don't know what the law in Canada is. It doesn't matter what the device is here in the United States. But here in the U.S., the device must be mounted. Okay, so if you're running it on your phone as an ELD, your phone must be mounted while you're running it, while you're driving. It must be, or it doesn't qualify. You can just mount it to the dashboard with Velcro, but it has to be mounted in your line of sight so you can see your hours and stuff like that. It can't put it in the cup holder. That doesn't work here. That's a violation. Some drivers do that. That's why they make Depends. Exactly. Yeah, adult Depends. You got it. Mad Maldy. Yeah, I've watched that show too. It's pretty good. I always thought it was interesting. It's on the Weather Channel. I'm like, why is there a TV show on the Weather Channel? First time a self-driving truck takes out a school bus, that'll be the end of that. Oh my gosh. There's going to be an accident, and then there are going to be huge setbacks again because it's. Did you all see over the weekend they did a company fooled a Tesla car? Okay, a car. All they did was 3 pieces of tape on the roadway to make it change so it couldn't see the white lines. They moved the lines, right, with just 3 extra pieces of tape that they bought at the store, and the Tesla drove into oncoming traffic, what would have been an oncoming road, because it's following the road lines. That's where we still are with this automation. You don't have to tap into the computer or anything like that. All you need to do is buy some tape at the moment. So we are quite a ways away from the thing driving itself around. I should do videos on restaurant, grocery store delivery drivers like Albertsons. Those are so, some of those aren't really large and they're hard to do. We have, some small ones like that around here. There's not that many people there. Your dog, wife, and truck left you. That's a real problem. You started out in England, and so you're glad that's over. Where did you get somewhere better? Oh, wait, you had to get somewhere better. Were you in a 3-bunk truck? That's what I always like to ask people. That does sound like a country song. Let's see one of those self-driving trucks chain up and run the Northeast. Well, it could chain up. There's automatic chains, as many of you know. We use them even just around here on school buses, have them, because Edna, the 87-year-old school bus driver, is not going to chain. There's a button they press, and so the truck could chain itself up, yes. You remember Western didn't have PC on their Qualcomm. Right, we don't allow it here either. When you went to USA Truck, they did. USA must have hard DOT talk because they were super strict and talk to you like a child. Most of these companies that take students, they don't realize, that once people get experience, they don't want to be talked to like that. It's hard to say. Many truck stops are carrying these products. They need them. Why is it you can get your boss fired for talking to you in an unethical manner while working at Kroger? Wow. But in trucking, anything goes. If you speak to it on your you're replaced instantly. Well, I don't know what to say. I would do everything like that in writing, especially, if you're having problems like this equipment problems and stuff that you're having, get everything in writing at that place. Make them write it to you on a Qualcomm or a text or however you do it. If Canadians can run paper, can they run in the U.S. with paper? No, I don't think so. They would have to have an ELD here if their truck otherwise qualifies. They have to follow the laws of the country that they're in. They disqualified people whose neck was a certain measurement. Oh, and you were one of them? Well, I don't know what to say. You can, there's always somewhere else. I've been thinking of relocating from Dallas to Oklahoma City. Go to work for U.S. Foods. Oh, I'm just worried about making the wrong decision. Yeah, U.S. Foods, that's a big place. They should have some kind of information out there. Thanks for answering. Oh, thanks, Brian. Look, I really feel bad when companies say, oh, just put a cardboard on there because, that isn't right. And so you're going to get the points, and eventually then you're not going to be able to get a job because of their bad equipment. It's time to move on. It really is. First, last name. Hey, that's a good question. Where do I work? I never get that question. So that works out really good. I don't tell people where I work, of course. That keeps them out of my videos, and I also don't recruit for them. What is every driver that I watch out here recruits from their company? It's crazy. We have a recruiting bonus. I don't accept it, and I don't recruit for them. They have people to do that will actually talk to you. So I keep them out of everything. No, you only had the 2-bunk truck for 6 months and then teen for 6 months. Yeah, that didn't good. How did the Solo do there? Okay, Joshua, good. The repairs are done. Good. Start making some money. Right, Edgar, you do good now, but you make 19 plus, right? So we got to think about that. They pay 20 through 50. Oklahoma City's more affordable. But you're worried about the tough rules. Like, what kind of tough rule could they possibly have at U.S. Food Service? I think they have cameras in their trucks, but I'm not sure about that. You can now use paper logs if you want. Oh, I did announce it last Monday on April 1st. There was a rule change, right? We'll have to keep that to the April 1st show, though, on rule changes like that. Let me show, I'll do this a couple times, but let me show you this dash video of this truck. I took this Friday, and I've written to this company, by the way, because I thought it was such a serious safety violation. I'm going 65, okay, and so the truck's passing me. I'll estimate him at 70. He's maybe 20 feet behind this car. I mean, this is really ridiculous, and I just don't understand it. This is Southern Freight Service. I wrote to their safety department. There, I press the lock button there. So we can see, he's 20 feet, and there's room in front of me. So he could have gotten over. He didn't have to push him up there anyway, but he never gets over. By the way, he continues on and doesn't get over. It's just crazy. I wrote to them and sent them the video. There, I can easily see the trailer number and stuff on there when I stop the video. So, that kind of thing just bothers me. He's so close that it's just not necessary. It's no wonder we get a bad name in the industry. It doesn't make any sense. Running through different time zone, you see log the same time. You log the time of your home terminal, whatever that is. So you never change times. In my opinion, how long do I think training should be? I mean, it depends. I always say it should be longer, but, I didn't have any training. I graduated truck school and went to work Monday mornings after graduation. So, I mean, part of it is that up to the driver. Some people get it faster and some don't. I'm not saying I get it faster than anybody, but I didn't have any training. They should certainly, companies that do training, though, it should be doing the job that you're going to do there. A month. It should maybe depend on the trainer too, right? Maybe some people don't need to sit there with a trainer for a month, really. When you can pass the test, you should be good to go, right? You had a dispatcher that was arguing with me about taking too much time on duty because you were following the FMCSA, and she asked me how long I've been driving and asked her how long she's been driving. Exactly. Asked them, how long have you been driving? Right. What kind of dash cam was that? That's that ASCO Trace 1 dash cam. I have a video about it, and there's a discount code there as well if you want to get it. It does really, really good. It takes great pictures, so I totally recommend it. So U.S. Foods doesn't have any set routes, and you must work any hours they say, even on holidays. That's annoying. If you don't have a schedule, to me, okay, that's me. Oh, I always say stuff like that, but then that's me. I would want a set schedule because you get better sleep that way, and so you're less likely to get sleep apnea. You're more rested. Doing the same thing every day at the same time is super important just for your health, your general health. For me, you got to decide. Remember, you get 19 plus where you are. So it just depends. Yeah, it's the one I advertised that one time. Right. Yeah, that ASCO Trace 1, it does really good. But look at how close that truck is. That's crazy. You've seen several close in that 8, but not you. Good. I'm glad it's not you. I hope that wasn't any of you on here. If that was you, shame on you, right? It's too bad there seems to be a lot of that going on. It's crazy. He was 20 feet, and he's probably going 70. So cameras on the face, it cannot touch a Bluetooth. That's what I thought about U.S. Food Service. So, I mean, if that's okay with you, I guess it's okay, but, it depends. James, you never had any training either. Yeah, some of us never had training and went on to be okay, but there's so many rules and stuff. At least we can get trained. They should have some kind of rule training, following ELD and all that. Some companies do a really bad job of it. Felipe, thank you very much. I appreciate that. TSI, hopefully that's an Eclipse TSI. Eating a cowboy ribeye steak with bone still in, grilled on the truck in an air fryer. Wow. That's really great. You eat better than I eat at home here. Auto is shut down. Well, it was just the first one that I thought of about the autonomous trucking. It's called circadian rhythm. Yeah, all the scientific stuff. What I'm saying, right, sleep at the same time every day. I've been doing the same thing, right? Do the same thing every day. Go to bed at the same time. It's very, very helpful to you. Good afternoon, Kenworth Rider. What's going on? Way closer than that. This guy was close, and there's no reason for it. Even, look, it's bad enough to push the car like that, but once he passed me up, he still didn't get over. And there was nobody in front of me. It's just ridiculous, and that kind of thing doesn't make any sense to me. What doesn't make any sense is I wrote the company and sent them the video, and no response from them either. So that'll get its own video if I don't hear from them. That kind of thing is crazy. Hey, Felipe, what's going on? Amanda, what's happening out there? Super Trucker, hey, what's going on? Yikes. What are my thoughts on drivers using antidepressants? It's up to their doctor, right? I wouldn't say, it depends on what their doctor has to say about it. Certainly, I'm not a medical. So people would have to discuss that with their doctor. If the doctor thinks it's okay, then that's it. Whenever I go to the doctor, if they're going to give me some kind of whatever it is, I always tell them, look, I'm a driver, so I got to be able to drive. So, and drivers should all do that, Mad Maldy, I think we need to get an air fryer. That person needs to do a video about air fryers so we can get going on that. You have an interview on Saturday. Yeah, ask them questions, and if you don't like it, don't. That's totally agreeable. Write down all the things that are important to you and see if they comply with that. The switch and schedule is tough on you. I don't know how old you are, but even me in my extreme upper 30s, that is hard to switch schedules. We have people, that are on the, they're regular fill-in drivers or whatever that can get called in. And I'm thought, oh my God, that is horrible. Every day they can work at a different time. That's just got to be terrible. Flavio, hey, what's happening? It's good to see you. Miro from Canada. We've had a couple Canadians here today. That's good. Am I talking about Crete carriers? Yeah, I did talk about them a little bit here. They, a number of you sent to me their response that they posted on Facebook because several of you sent them my other video, which I appreciate because I can't get a hold of them. And they said in their response that they're not going to give me the attention that I am seeking because I mischaracterized them in the video. Well, my video, when I talked about Crete at the truck show, that was a live show. Okay, so I can't mischaracterize them in a live show. The recruiters didn't get up and talk to me. They're way off in the corner of a booth. The first guy never even looked up from his phone. I assume he's updating his MySpace page, maybe. I'm not sure. The other guy, who couldn't be bothered to get up, really didn't want to answer questions. I'm like, will you answer questions? And he said, here's the Crete number. Well, first he said, have the drivers come in to the booth. I'm like, they're not here. Oh, well, here's the number to Crete. That's crazy. Okay. Why? He's giving me the number to recruiter. That's what he's there to do. Ended up, I finally got to ask him one question, and that was it. And he wasn't forthcoming. Neither of them ever stood up. And so I'm cutting that video. I'll have that out later this week. And I wrote to Crete then over the weekend, and they never even responded to that. They're like, oh, I want publicity. I wrote to them privately in an email about it, where they could have answered me privately and didn't. And I would say the definition of not answering questions is when someone writes to you with a question and you don't answer it. So they didn't answer it privately. So that's how I get to respond to them. And attention that I'm seeking, this channel is way bigger than the Crete channel is. So if anybody's getting assistance, it's them. And they're probably doing that on purpose. They're like, oh, well, if we don't answer Mark, he'll just do a video about us. And then we'll get all that blasted video out there. So that's what I think. It's the other way around. They're trying to get the publicity out of me. So I just want an answer why they send recruiters that don't really answer questions. These recruiters need to be on point. They should think Crete's the best place ever. Be high energy. These guys had zero energy. I don't know. Maybe they ate a bunch of donuts for breakfast or something. I don't know. Get up and respond to people. Stand up at least, for crying out loud. If anybody went into a store, including anybody from Crete, and the salesman didn't even get up and just kept looking at his phone, you wouldn't buy anything from them. I mean, I'd be horrified if I was Crete. What's the latest on personal conveyance? Yeah, the DOT said, look, don't overthink personal conveyance. They said at the truck show, they go, look, is the move for a non-business purpose? And are you doing work at the request of the motor carrier? That's where you can log personal conveyance or not. Anything for the motor carrier cannot be logged that way. And they specifically put maintenance out there. Many people log shop time or whatever as personal conveyance. You cannot do that. They talked about it. Logging shop time is not personal conveyance. They were very specific about that. Edgar, you're 32, so you're in your lower 30s, so maybe for you it's better. I have just a few years on you, and so that changing schedule, that gets really tough for me. You'll have to decide, if they say, oh, you have to change every day or whatever, whether you can do it. Did the company respond? Crete has not responded to me, and also this SFS company, who I sent the video to, where I showed it here, they have not responded. I sent it to their safety department. No response. It's amazing to me, really. We'll see if they respond by the end of the day. Best intervention for trucking, a big salad with a steak. Wow. No more truck stop hot dogs. No more wiener rollers. Yikes. Cook fresh chicken wings. Holy moly. Can we cook wiener rollers in our truck? Amarillo. Greetings from Amarillo. Wow. 2 people are in Amarillo. You two should get talk to each other. Have I used an iceless cooler? Yes. I haven't for some time, but yeah, I've used one that plugged in the cigarette lighter, and I don't remember if it was a Coleman. I don't remember the name of it. It lasted me about a year always, and then it would stop working, so I'd have to throw it away. So, yeah, but they work really good, and I would bungee cord it to the passenger seat. That's how I did it. That way it stayed out of the way. The vegan trucker girl. There should be healthier food options at truck stops, smoothie bars. Yes, there should be, but I think the problem is that drivers don't buy it. Because they've talked about all these food deserts around where there's no good food or whatever, and then they bring in all this healthy food to some cities, and nobody buys it. So I think, unfortunately, not a lot of it gets bought. Look around, the Loves has these fruit cups and, boiled eggs and stuff like that, but I never see anybody buying them. And I've seen them looking all brown in there, so I think if people bought it, they would bring it in there. I do. They should have a smoothie machine. I totally agree with you. Right. Maybe we should put a blender in our truck. Coleman iceless cooler is the best. Okay, so maybe it was a Coleman cooler. It would last a year or so, and I'd have to throw it away. CFI gave the best interview. Look, CFI at least was forthcoming. They're like, yeah, I will answer any question you want and the guy was actually standing. Hey, he was happy about CFI. You felt good about the place, really. You felt, oh, this might really be a good place to work. They like the place here, stuff like that. You just get a different vibe. When some guy's sitting there looking, oh, yeah, what's your question? Yeah, because he's looking up like this because he's on his phone. Oh, yeah, here's the phone number to Crete to give one of our recruiters a call. That doesn't make any sense. You get a massive anxiety when you're at the truck stop with the shipper doing a 45-degree backing, mainly because I'm not fully trained on any of the tricks about getting over that or doing 45. Well, Alex, that kind of thing is just literally practice kind of makes perfect thing. You're going to have to do a bunch of them, and you'll get better and better at them. All right, Trucker Hershey, practice exactly. Jonathan says, get out and look. Was there a Tesla trucker reps? I did not see one there. I wish they would have had one to drive. Boy, that would have been awesome. You told your boss you can use paper logs like you told us. Yeah, no, it's true. April 1st, paper log day. Timothy, greetings. Tell them to write to me. Just remember, everyone has their own steering wheel. If you get nervous when backing, stop. Yeah, go again. Get out and look. Yeah, get out, go look, whatever you need to do. Just don't hit anything. I mean, you're better off looking than hitting. Because I always felt, look, when I started backing up too, it was very nerve-wracking because my first job was local in Chicago. So I would have 15 stops a day. That Monday, I had like 15 stops in Chicago off Halstead, Western, all these big streets. Nerve-wracking. So, and in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I can't get out and look. Everybody thinks I don't know what I'm doing or whatever, which I basically didn't. But you just got to do it because if you start hitting stuff, holy mackerel, that's a real problem. You see crap driving like that every day, morons who do that to four-wheelers. I agree. I mean, when we're tailgating somebody 20 feet behind like that, what kind of picture does that give to everybody? That's not safe, number one, and it could cause a death. What if something happened? I mean, you might kill those people. And those people are the people that are going to vote for your regulations. Remember that. After a while, it takes easier to get back. Yeah, right. It does. After time, you'll get better and better at it. And, nobody hits it perfect every first time. So don't ever worry about that. ISO schools only work for a year or less. Or mine, the 12-volt broke. Oh, you ruined the plug, right. Mine would just, you're over there and you're like, oh, everything is ruined or whatever. So you just got to throw them away and start over. But it's still, look how much money it saves in ice. Just what you want after 14 hours of smoothie. No, they're delicious, right? I make them here at home. So, yeah, that is what you want really after 14 hours. Smoothie bars, a good idea? Yeah. Well, yeah, how about fresh smoothies, right? You work at CFI, all nice people. Yeah, look, that CFI recruiter, that's the way you should have a recruiter. That guy ought to get promoted at that place. I mean, gee whiz. If Crete would have been like that, they'd have never heard from me. Been driving 10 years and still get out. They put it on our mirror. I took the sticker off the mirror because I thought, here's a mirror. And so they cover up the mirror with a sticker that tells me to get out and look and be safe. How stupid is that? Healthy foods are outrageous price. That's why people don't buy it. Well, you know what's expensive too? Dying when you're 55 years old. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Jody, that works for some people. It never worked for me. I'm just nervous about it. You don't know how much experience the person helping you has, and ultimately, it's still your responsibility to back in safely. So you have to at least consider that. I don't allow people to back me in just for that reason. Never really did. So, because you'll be backing in, somebody be like, oh, come in. I'm like, look, I got this, right? Because I still have to back in. If I hit something, the company won't be like, well, we'll charge that person. It's still 100% up to you. That's how I've always thought about that. Some people do it, but I just don't do it with people. The trick, see your spot, then pull forward, turn hard, and right to your facing straight. Yeah, you'll get it, absolutely. Neil, 42 years and still gets out and looks. Ooh, man, nice. Sounds like these mega carriers care less if they hire someone or not. Well, they paid for that booth. That booth's over $1,000 because I looked into getting one. So I know the booth is $1,000. Two people are getting paid their same salary, whatever they get. They rented a car for them. I'm sure they get 2 rooms for them. Flew them out there from Nebraska. I mean, can a guy get up? Can he at least get up? Or am I misconstruing that as well? You know, oh, I'm saying that just to get the attention that I'm seeking. That's a quote from their thing. That he didn't get up. Couldn't be bothered to get up. The other guy's still updating his Friendster, account. Over 1 million miles, you get out and look every time you're hooked to a step deck. Oh, there's no such thing as a perfect back. They always give you people grief on your flats and steps that you don't know how to back up because you don't have to do it much. But that's certainly not true. There's no shame in doing pull-ups. Yeah, certainly. I mean, absolutely. If you're unsure, look, pull up. My gosh, the last thing you want to do is have an accident. Straightforward and a hard left and back the yellow line or whatever is good. Yes. A vegan trucker girl. Right. I mean, totally agree. Totally. That's the best way to do it. There's my sound right. I'm gonna show this here again. Look at this video. I mean, for people that are just coming in. Is this crazy? Look, I'm going 65. This SFS truck, super close to that car in front of him. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And when I stop this video, I got the plate number and the trailer number right there, which you can't see here, but when I stop the screen, you can see it. So I wrote to the company and no response yet. So I love it. Right. They have yet to write back to me. Checking here. No, nothing. Right. So no response from them. Hopefully I will hear from them eventually. If you back slow, you can back anywhere. Yes. What do I think of ELDs? I love it. I really think it's a great idea. It would allow people to get paid by the hour if they would just use it. Here's the perfect way for us to get paid by the hour. The ELD is running all the time to the minute right on there. There's no question about, oh, you fudged your logs or whatever. It knows the location of the truck, knows if it's moving and all that stuff. It's the way we could get paid by the hour, and then people are trying to find ways to cheat it. Run it legal, right? Run that thing legal. If you back slow, you can back right. Name of the game is don't hit yes. Don't ever hit anything, because that is the worst. Accidents, forget it. Right. Hello in Los Angeles. Oh, that's going to be good. Hopefully we get a load out of there to Maine. 10-2 splits, don't pivot. 10-2 splits and don't pivot. Right. Each person has to learn this on their own. And for this ELDs, who is going to be working Friday? Black Smoke Matters, remember, has Friday as a shutdown. That's the 12th. This week, is everybody taking the day off to protest the ELDs? I know I'll be trying to work extra that day just to aggravate those people. I look too, they still don't have a YouTube. They don't even have a YouTube channel. All right, they want to get their message out there. What's the number 2 search engine? YouTube. They don't have a channel at all. I just checked today. They still don't have a channel. You still don't see people getting paid by the hour. I found a couple companies, including JAT of Fort Wayne. I don't know exactly all where they hire. They do hire in more than Fort Wayne, Indiana. They pay their drivers $25 an hour plus overtime for all logged driving and on-duty time, and that's over the road. That's an over-the-road driver, and I think that's really good. That's where it could be going. You like watching guys with automatics try to back without creep mode? Yeah, they don't turn on their creep mode, and they're fighting the wheel hand over hand. Exactly. You got to put the thing in creep mode. Backs up much better than they used to. Where are you going to be so that you can avoid it? No, well, look, Black Smoke Matters said they're going to be everywhere. They're going to close all the highways down in the United States, so you don't have to worry about that. That's what they said. Everywhere, we're closing it down, shutting it down. We're going to tell everybody how it is, teach the government, teach everybody a good lesson. There's no one size fits all when it comes to logbooks. Works great for some people, others it doesn't. Well, here's the thing I've said about this, and people don't like it, but look, because of the log rules and the electronic logs, you have to figure out a way in the industry to make money for yourself. So you look at the industry and go, all right, what I'm doing, whatever it is in the industry, I'm doing this general freight, or I'm doing this, and I don't make any money because of the logs, I got to shut down. You got to do something that will make you money. I've always recommended a dedicated run to people so they can make money, or hourly, of course, but some dedicated run where you know where you're going, then you know where you'll stop and you'll be able to make money. You may have to change jobs. You might have to one time to find a place that will make you money and run you legal. There are people right here all the time that do it, no problem. Hey, Light Bright, what's going on? It's good to see you today. You talk to a JAT local driver, he didn't know anything about hourly pay. They run it in their ads. And I don't know about local, okay? I don't know if they get a salary. They're over-the-road ads that they run because they're in Fort Wayne, so they run ads here. $25 an hour plus overtime. That's what it says, over the road for JAT. So why he doesn't know it, he should go look at the ads. I mean, to see his and show the company their own ad. The grief was also by other drivers. Hey, Light Bright, what is happening? Where are you today? What's going on out there anyway? And this JAT, I was thinking of putting them out there too because it's one of the few places I've seen that is paying hourly plus overtime over the road. So then you're going to get all of your time paid. And think about this. If you got hourly plus overtime, would you violate the log? Would you speed? Would you be pushing that car up there like that driver? Probably not. Would you log all your time properly, like your pre-trip and post-trip? I bet you wouldn't argue with me, oh, we don't have to log that. You would be logging it. You'd be like, oh, absolutely, Mark. That has to be logged. What are you talking about? Right. It would change the way the whole industry works. Stephen, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's good to see you here today. They should at least shut down California. If they did that, nobody would complain. So, so we wouldn't have to go out to California and get our truck washed every time that you go out there. I don't get it. The e-logs are the same as paper. Exactly. That's what I've tried to say to people, too. The log rules didn't change. It's just that you had to write it down, before, and now you get to electronically log it. And so that proves how many people really were cheating the logs. And the DOT says one of the common problems is that drivers don't know how to transfer their data. So can you do that? They said that's what they're talking about at the truck show with this personal conveyance. A common problem is you can't transfer your data. So when the DOT officer comes up and says, I want your data, they either have a code that they give you, which is enterable in your ELD, or their email. You have to be able to do it. If you can't do it, that's a violation. So if you don't know how to do it on the side of the road, that's it. If you can't do it now, go ask your company, or look through the manual, which you're required to have with you. So I'm sure you have a manual for your ELD because it's required, right? Look through there and see how to do that transfer because you want to be able to know how to do it like you know what you're doing before you're asked for your logs to transfer them to the DOT. They said it's one of their most common problems that drivers don't know how to transfer, and then you just get written up. Why would you want to work over 14 hours a day? Yeah, I mean, holy mackerel. Who wants to work more than that? But yet I get constant emails. Oh, Mark, we need this extra 3 hours and, we need to be able to work. I'm like, why? 14 hours a day isn't enough time for you? Eddie says traffic in Denver is no good. It's nothing but construction. That's exactly right. And if you were paid hourly plus overtime, traffic wouldn't be as aggravating, would it? If you're protesting the ELD, throw away your phone, your computer, and all the technology because that's the same company selling. They do, yeah. They're all in bed together, right? James, you never cheated. Well, yeah, you're the first one, I guess. On paper, you can put down that you took a 40-minute break, but you really didn't. That's true. But if you were paid properly, you wouldn't need to cheat the log. And I still think, no matter what show didn't come out with any information, I still think the 30-minute break goes away. I really do. From all the things they've said, I really think they're going to get rid of that. Do some OTR companies try to run you illegal? Yes. When I was in the oil field, we wouldn't have gotten anything done if we ran 100% legally. Yeah, you would have. Because if you all ran 100% legally, you would have got paid more because they would have needed more drivers. So, yes, if you all ran legal, you would get more because they have an even bigger need for drivers. Joshua is at orientation. Oh, you just came to leave? Like, I appreciate it. Congratulations. Right. Want to tell us where you're going? And, hopefully you didn't go there on the crack hound. Yikes. E-logs force you to drive when you're tired. Those are facts. Some people cannot sleep during the day, and an ELD forces you to drive at night. Well, here, Oscar, exactly. Now, I'll go along with that. Sometimes you drive when you're tired. You shouldn't drive if you're tired. You should, of course, park, but then a problem, you don't make any money. I get that. The problem is you may have to change jobs. Seriously. I mean, you got to look at the industry. All right, and so if you're always running tired, that's not going to be any good for your health long term. That's not going to help you. You could get in an accident. It may be time, seriously, to change jobs. I'm a huge advocate for a dedicated run that does the same thing, so you know that you're running at the same time every day. That helps you get some sleep. In Maine, it's snowing right now. Really? A state trooper died up here on I-95 from a log hauler, spare tire, falling off. That's horrible. A lot of shutdowns and inspections. That's terrible, right? I'm a huge supporter of police. I don't know, many of you know, I don't know if I've talked about, my grandfather was a police lieutenant. Dad was an officer for many years until he got shot in the line of duty and had to retire from the police force. So, huge police supporter here. I have my dad's badge, his nightstick, gun, stuff like that here. So, that's, I feel really bad for that. That's terrible. You hope they leave the 30-minute break. Really, it's one of the most complained about things, they said. So, and I'm not a huge fan of it, only because what it did is took our time away and not get paid for it. So you still have this 14-hour day, but really now we can't get 14 hours of pay. We only get 13 and a half hours of pay in it. So if they give it back to us, we'll still only have a 14-hour day. So it's not lengthening the day, but it is increasing your pay, which also rhymes. So another reason that it's probably worth it, right? Since if I can bust a rhyme like that, absolutely. Right? Holy mackerel, sound effects. Believe it. Believe it. You're required to carry and card for our e-log system. It's for a DOT to use if they need to look at it. Yes, you are also required to be able to transfer the data to the DOT on your own. But yes, there's a card. Everybody has to have it. That is an information card about your ELD. If you do not have it in your truck, get one from your company. It's required. It's required. You have to have the manual and a card that for the DOT to give it to them. That's correct. I'm glad you have it, because some people don't have it. They don't even know that they're supposed to have it. So if you're using one on your phone, a lot of people do that. You still have to have the information card with you, even if it's being used on your phone. I don't like the phone idea because you have to give the DOT your phone, and I don't know about the data transfer, so I don't like it running on there, It's legal. I'm just not a fan of it. They're protesting Qualcomm ELDs by filming their protests with a Qualcomm phone. But using all the Qualcomm information, they're protesting Qualcomm. Paper logs will force you to wake it's the same thing. Well, but the problem, of course, paper logs, people backlog it. I'm certainly, none of us have done that, but I've heard through the grapevine that some people do that. You're dry van looking. I see drivers driving like that all the time. That's sad. But that's nothing compared to how some drive in rain, especially doubles going down a mountain. I don't get it. I just don't get this kind of thing. Where are you getting? What's so important that you got to follow a car 20 feet? I'm going 65. I'm going 65 here and being passed. So what is so important about that, about your day? What is important? Nothing. Is he hauling, livers for transplants or whatever? I doubt it. Your dry van pulling reefer, how does that happen? That's a disaster. We'll have to talk to Cassius King Trucking about that. You change company's example when an ELD catches up to you or where you're back to square one, sleeping day, driving at night. Then what with those guys? Well, Oscar, that's the thing of it. You're talking about changing to the same kind of irregular route company where it's not the same thing. What I'm talking about is you change companies to do something that's the same. And a lot of drivers don't like doing it, but it solves the problem. If you had a route, if you did the same thing every day, you do, every day I leave at noon on this thing and I do that same thing every day or the same route every week, you'd have the same sleep pattern all the time. That's what I'm saying. You may have to change completely what you do in the industry to better suit sleeping and to make you some money. It's against the law to drive tired. Yes. Look, if you're tired, you should stop, regardless of an ELD or whatever. We can't have you running people over or whatever. Not everyone can have a dedicated run. There's tons of places that have dedicated runs that seek drivers. So I know that there are runs available for drivers, right now. So there are more of them now available. People could switch to that and don't, but have a problem with the electronic log. That is a huge solution to dedicated to logs, is the dedicated run. Dispatch would force you to work straight through if you need a break. Well, the DOT says you can stop. Of course, we all know the dispatch won't do that. I agree, but the 30 minutes, it's just, what if you don't need a break? They're taking the 30 minutes away. I would have been maybe better with it if it at least went to 14:30 so that you didn't get a pay cut, because it was in effect a 30-minute pay cut. And now you don't always need a break, as people say. Just randomly telling people they have to stop, especially with the parking disaster. Everybody tries to park 30 minutes every day. I don't like it. I'm just not like it. Oh, Steven, you like that? I appreciate that very much. Right. Thank you very much. California law requires spare tires to be carried only in a spare tire carrier. Yeah, now you know why. I've seen him on the flatbeds or whatever. Look, that's super sad for that officer and his family. That's terrible. 392.3, ill or fatigued operator. You should stop if you're tired, day or night. It's against the law, according to ELD in your company and the government. You know, it's a tough call. You need the money. I know if you stop, then you could be late. They'll reschedule you. It's tough. But you may have to change what you do. You might. I mean, that's the only current solution. There's no better solution to that. Changing the rules to work more hours a day, that's not a solution. You know, to this 17 hours that people want, I don't like it. An irregular route, general freight, is the toughest way to make money because you just don't know what you're doing. You can be tired all the time. Parking is a disaster. There's a lot better ways to do it. You have no problem with the 30-minute break because 5.5 hours of driving, you all stop and get coffee. So you're good with it. You're stopping anyway. I just don't like that it's mandated because some drivers at night, it's tough to find a place to park. That's why there's tons of truck parked on the side of the road at night. They're taking their 30-minute break. I know they are. They can't all have broken down, you know, on the side of the road. They just can't have. Brandon, hey, sorry you're late. Yes. I do appreciate that you're here, though. Did I see the Prime Award? Yes. They did raise their pay. I have to look back into them. That they're one of the Truckload Carriers Association large fleet, I believe, best companies to drive for now. Yes. So, you know, I'm not sure about who gives that out or how companies get it. There are some good companies on there and then some not. Like Central Oregon Truck is on there too. So I don't exactly know how you get it. They said, you have to be nominated by a driver. I'm sure someplace like Prime can be nominated by some one of their brown-nosed drivers. I'm sure we'll put them as a nomination. Holy moly. You told your DM you hadn't slept in 2 days. She shut me down. That's good. And I can't remember the name of the company. It's some local company. This has been a few years. You have to call. If you're going to drive beyond 11 p.m., I think it is, you have to call to some person at the company, and they determine whether you're going to drive that night or not. So if they say you're going to sleep, you have to stop and sleep. And they do that because they understand that safety is a priority. I wish I could remember who that was. If you're complaining about the logs not making money, you should change careers. Yeah, I think that you can change in the industry to a different job that better serves the logs and parking and everything else and still make a good paycheck. According to the non-experienced FMCSA, they say there isn't a parking shortage. Yeah, no parking shortage because they add up all the parking spots around the whole country and think, oh, there's no parking shortage. One of the few things that is halfway decent about what Black Smoke Matter says is outside of large regional centers, they want parking areas put out for drivers to stage before going into town. You know, that's not a bad idea. Putting huge, you know, several thousand spot parkings outside of large cities is probably not a bad idea where drivers could stop and get rest and stuff. Now, whether that'll happen or not, and whether the 37 people that strike on Friday are going to get that done, I'm not sure about that. Because of your air conditioning, you spent 2 days in a hotel. Good. And I hope the company paid for that. Have I heard anything about the company Jen or Shu? Yeah, I heard that they don't pay for, they won't let you run the toll road. I did hear about that, right, which I think is ridiculous. According to the, right, have I heard about Shugel? Look, they don't want you to run the toll road. I don't like that. You know, that kind of stuff wastes a lot of your time. It's really something that you should consider when you can't run the toll road. Okay, so Shane says, Shane wanted to thank everybody as well for doing the survey. That's the person doing that survey. So he's getting a lot of data, and he appreciates it. He's going to begin scheduling interviews next week, I want to tell everybody, and see how that goes. And so there you go. So he's got the survey results. He's doing it, and he'll begin scheduling interviews next week with people. So There you are for the people that took the survey. If not, video is up about a survey. Please take it to try to help the trucking industry. So, I'd rather pull over and sleep and be late than fall asleep at the wheel and kill people. That is the decision that people have to make. Unfortunately, some people feel like the money is more important, the few $100s they'll make or whatever. And it just turns out when there's a problem, then you think, oh, I really should have gone to sleep. It's never that important. Your company has a no driving between midnight and 4 without approval. That's a good idea, too. That's similar to what I was saying. Yes, you have to call in and get approval to run at night. I totally like that. You drive a lot starting at 2 a.m. Yeah, I'm kind of a night person, but I do it every day. So I think that's different than the general freight where you run during the day, then at night, then at day. That's really a lot harder. If you do the same thing every day, that's a lot better for you. $200 a night and they paid for parking. Nice. That's pretty good. Easy to get through big cities, no construction. I like the staging idea. I do like the idea of staging, having large staging areas. I mean, before we go into Chicago, what if on, 80, 94 out there on the other side of Joliet, there was one on, if there was one up on the north side, out 88 maybe, I think it'd be a good idea. And every large one, I think it's a good idea. Mad Maldy, you did the survey. Good. We'll see. Let me know if he gives you a call. Once you did a 30-minute break in New York City on 95 before where'd you find to do a 30-minute break in New York City? Yikes. You choose driving nights. I like it too, right? Generally safer, except for the occasional wild boar. Yeah, where are all these boars crossing the road? The miles are easier. The scales are usually closed. There's less traffic. Agree. Don't have a boar problem out here. Parking is the biggest issue. I think that's the biggest issue facing trucking, certainly. No parking between 5 and 2. Yeah, there's no parking at night. Even at rest areas, you have to park at the way station. Some of them don't allow it. Indiana's not big on it. The parking is the biggest thing. Building parking, I mean, that should be the government, rather than closing rest areas, they should be required for every spot that they close, they have to build 2 more. And those have to be built before they close the first spot. I mean, it just is really something. Crybabies who can't sleep make you want to get a. That's a huge issue. Sleeping is a big problem in trucking. Believe me. When am I going to grow that wicked mustache? Yeah, people complain about that, so I have to keep that trimmed up. They have staging, but they're filled with doubles and triples. Well, there should be more. I mean, what if the spots, there were 3,000 parking spots over, 100 acres or something like that, 200 acres. That would be really something. On the side of the road during a dead traffic stop. Oh, yeah, almost could do that. Of course, it's not allowed, but that's a lot of people do that. You did the survey and gave your phone number. Yeah, it had an option whether you didn't want to be called. So, good. Anybody who gets called, let me know how the survey goes. He didn't work hard enough to be tired. Well, you don't want to be tired driving, right? We want to get paid a good amount of pay for, a day's work, and then you don't have to just be exhausted all the time. I mean, holy moly. Night driving is way better than day driving. See, everybody's into the night driving, and if you did it every day, that's different than if you just do it Tuesday, Friday, and then Sunday, and the other days your days, and then you have a day off. That's the worst part of trucking completely, because your whole system goes off, as we learned science words earlier. Just build more Iowa 80 truck stops. That place, if they built that today, I mean, how much would that place cost to build today? That place has been open forever. Building that today, nobody would build it today, as we see. Night driving, there's nobody on the road. Yeah, you don't have to worry about all these other people, just boars apparently that are on the road. You don't even have to worry about people like this driving on the road. I mean, this kind of thing is just crazy. What I'm more surprised about in this is they never wrote back to me. Why didn't they write to me? I sent them the video to their safety department and never heard back from them. It doesn't make any sense. I'd be all on that. Oh, we're so sorry that our driver's doing this, but who knows what they're doing over there. What's the tightest place you backed into? Oh, I mean, I backed in Chicago or some tight spots because you're going into a building that are off of Western Avenue or whatever. That's tough. There was a little spot in New York City I had to go into in Brooklyn where the building, but the dock was there. And by the time you backed in, the trailer was across the street. And so you had to be at an angle. I mean, there's just tons of disaster places like that weren't anywhere near designed for the trucks that we have. So as I was being unloaded, I had the entire street blocked because the truck was across over the curb on the other side of the street, and that was it. Nobody was getting by. So I don't know what they do about, the police never said anything about it. Dedicated routes, the thing is, I enjoy traveling. That's correct, right? And pulling into a shipper and receiver, most of them have enough room to back into a dock. It can be, look, that's the problem a lot of these logistics, Hogan and all these companies have. People don't want to do the same thing every day. All I'm saying is it solves a problem in the industry. If you don't want to do it, okay. But if you did the same thing every day or even the same route every week, that left at the same time, you'd know where you're stopping, you'd know where parking is, all that would be solved. When the decent bathroom and big vending area and a restaurant, I think they could build a building and lease it out to places, these parking lots, and I think they could get it leased out and paid for, really. Because if they knew 2,000 trucks were coming in there, it would work like the West Virginia rest area there, Hackensack, whatever that. Why can't I think of the name of it right? It's got all those restaurants in there. One of the two other condemned truckers looked at RVT and said the first condemned man I don't know anything about what's going on with that. Right, certainly. Just past the 57-24 split, time to make up some time. Yeah, now we can finally get going. Remember when Illinois was a 55? I mean, that was the longest time. The country is beautiful, and seeing it, that's part of trucking. I agree. I'm just trying to solve people's parking problem, and I think being dedicated on a regular route, even if it's a 1 week at a time route, solves it. Working for Walmart, a lot of these companies, that solves it. You park at the Walmart stores. A lot of that solves it, but you don't get to see the country. It's a problem. Drivers should average 100 a year tax-free. She'd have to make 140s. I think you should get at least 2,000. Over-the-road drivers, I've said, should get $2,000 easy. If you're gone from your house, why do you not get $2,000 a week? Why do companies think that's not worth it to give a driver $2,000 a week? It's totally worth it to get a good driver like that. They just don't think it, so they're not paying it. When they make automated trucks, how are they going to get into the buildings that aren't designed for trucks? Oh, well, they've already talked about that. The start of automated trucks will be these large parking areas, ironically. And so you will go there, the truck will. It will drop off a trailer, and from there, local drivers will deliver it into large cities or wherever it's going from there. So you'll just have some local drivers taking the trailers, and then they'll load the trailer that goes across the country and bring it back to that lot where an automated truck takes it on its way. That's how it starts. They've already talked about that. That's what they're setting up for. Safety departments are big on preaching safety, but something happens, then silence. Totally agree. Safety is all well and good, they say, until a load needs to be delivered. You quit a company because they ran so much Chicago. Yeah, that's a good reason to quit. Believe me, doing local Chicago, that's worse. And by the way, my first job paid $250 a week salary. I remember that. I got $250 a week salary, which I thought was great. I remember spending the night back up the Kills River in Staten Island after receiver refused load. Oh my God, what a disaster. Don't you fear dispatch. We're getting the punishment we deserve. I have no idea what you're talking about. You should get paid six figures no matter what you do. Oh, I don't know about that, Super Trucker. Chicago is just a mess. Any large city, right? Any large city, if you're being paid mileage, isn't worth going into. Why? Because you don't make any money when you're sitting in traffic. That's same for New York City or any city if there's traffic. When you're getting paid by the mile, you want to avoid traffic. So another reason to try to get drop-in hooks and a dedicated route. That's how much more would you make if every route you had was dedicated and every place you stopped was just a drop-in hook? You just went in there and left. That's the thing to shoot for. It would way increase your check without increasing your time. When you nail a type back, it builds confidence. Yes. A still goal. Of course, get out. Yeah, you're like, oh, right. I find it my first couple of weeks of doing work at Economy, backing into all these different places, I'm like, holy mackerel, I can't believe I got in those spots. Right. Maybe everybody should get a local job to start with. Maybe the safety department is busy handling accidents from the weekend. Hey, what's going on in Odessa, Texas? Hopefully there weren't that many accidents where they're so busy they can't get in touch with you. To be honest, you don't think they'll pay $2,000 a week, Edgar? There's some paying $2,000. You can make 2 at ShipX. You can make 2 at Central Oregon. There's some where you can make $2,000 a week. It's not normal, but there are places that pay it. I think you can come, high 80s right now is certainly attainable over the road. I believe it's parking out there, but they charge. I'm not against it. At a private lot, I don't know what to say. Because, if we don't like, me and everybody that writes to me, we don't like government regulation. Well, then the lots, like at the Loves or the TA down here, which I see every day, is private. So if they want to charge, they can. And people don't remember. A lot of places used to charge for the whole truck stop. The Detroiter, I think they still do it. Ontario does it. It used to be if you didn't spend $20 in the store or 50 gallons of fuel or $100 at the shop, you had to pay to park there for the whole night in every spot. So this paid parking, this is nothing new to the industry. There were tons of paid parking through my whole career. So trucking is more than just holding a steering wheel. Yes. Mr. Hand, yeah, that's all right. We can all, no problem, right? Just sometimes we may do this, right? First, last name, holy mackerel. We always run with the moon here. The tech crashes. I haven't had too much problem with the ELDs, but I'm not running it on a phone. I've heard from drivers that run it on their phone, and they seem to have more problems. I don't know if it's because of all the different operating systems on phones, or because drivers are trying to run other things on their phones. See, that would bother me too. When you have this ELD running on your phone, and I don't know because I'm not huge into tech, right? If they download that, can they see when they're using your phone too? So drivers could get in trouble. Maybe they got a call or something. And so theoretically you could get in trouble that way. I don't know. Can it access your camera? I don't know. I just don't know about that. Tia in Dallas does. Oh, that's right. Are they still charging down there too? Right. You also had to pay to go in there too. Right. So, and that's the whole truck stop. That's not just a few spots. I'm an owner operator. Just got a load of caskets in your flatbed going to LA cemetery. Should I sleep? There's room. Some of them are pretty comfy. I've never seen caskets on a flatbed. California charges to park. Yeah, a lot of the places, the entire truck stop charges to park. Nobody likes to pay to park like that, certainly. It's horrible, but it's a private lot. You sleep in the caskets. I think you could sleep in one and rent the others out to other drivers. Probably there's an England truck near you. There's probably enough drivers that fill the rest of them up to sleep. Mad Maldy's late because you had to stop for a power nap. You didn't get any grief. Yeah, that's okay. Power nap. 20-minute power nap. Have I hauled fuel or pulled tankers? I have pulled tankers, not fuel. Food-grade tankers with orange juice for American Citrus. Ironically, that was a drop and hook in Chicago. 3 tankers went back and forth like 2 miles. You'd pick a full one up, take it down, back it in. You didn't do anything with it. Drop it. Then the other one was empty. You took that back to the first place where they were reloading it. They'd reloaded another one, took it back, did that all day. Tankers. So orange juice tankers, basically. The I-55 in Chicago charges. Yeah, so there's truck stops that are charging already for the entire truck stop. People are surprised that they're charging for a few spots. There are tons of them that charge just to come in the door. Oh, I think they're talking about tech in the automated trucks. Oh, absolutely. Crashing? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, when that goes out, what is the truck going to do? Look, that already the stupid radar thing reads bridge signs and everything and says collision alert when you're driving along. What's going to happen when it thinks there's a collision alert when it's driving itself? It'll stop. The Petro in Atlanta is like that. After 30 minutes, you pay. No matter what. 24 hours is $35. Exactly. The whole truck stop is paid parking. And some of these have been like that since I've been driving, and nobody complains about that. Now that there's a few paid spots around, people are griping. And I will tell you now, I'm seeing companies that pay the parking. It says, oh, we pay for parking. Don't give you ideas. You've got 19 of them, 20 per night rental. Yeah, well, based on what's inside of it, maybe it's 20 on one and the other one's 15. You never know. You never know what you can get for those. Two England trucks would fill those out. Are these the vaults, the cement vaults, or these actual caskets themselves? Because it seems like they wouldn't send a casket out in the weather because we don't want to ruin it before we throw it in the ground for 1,000 years. But are these the vaults, though? When I'm told 20 in the store, I go to eat or buy lights or oil. Yeah, if you need to buy 20 in the store, you're probably going to feed your face a couple times. If you're staying there overnight, it's worth doing it then. Dallas TA has a gate. Yeah, so they're still gated there. It's the entire truck stop is paid parking. There's no getting around it. But if it's $20, you can spend $20 in the store. If it was at a Love's, you could just buy one of those helmets. That's over $20 right there. That should give you free parking. Heavy metal trucker. It's Tamarack. That's right. It's Tamarack is the West Virginia site with the tons of parking, really, and food. So if they made more of those, would everybody use them? I think so. They put a spot that, say, got 2,500 parking spots and a building in the middle of it that's got restaurants in it and bathrooms and stuff. I think so. X-Load, hey, what's going on? Good to see you here. Joseph, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You watched the live show. I was hoping to get some, live show so people that weren't there could be there. He can't sleep as they want me to work after your 10-hour break. Yeah, that's correct. The break, so the DOT says you're up, and so you're up. It's a problem. That's a big problem in the industry. How do we solve it? The good question is, how do we solve that? If we just let the company decide at, whenever you work, you're going to be tired. What's the solution to that? Your radar gets blocked with snow or mud or rain. It starts raining hard, it turns off until it dries out. Swift pays for parking, good. That's one of them then. See, they're not so bad over there. People give them grief. It's not as bad as you want. Roger Penske, thank you for being here. She did Roman's work as a producer. Yes, she did very good that day. I appreciate it that she came with me and everything, and I'll let her know. Thank you. You haven't seen a Love's with paid parking? No, me either. But I'm saying that one helmet should get you a week's worth of parking. That Beckley is the West Virginia West area, yes. And you love going there. I agree. You can almost get in there all the time and find a spot too, even if it's off in the back somewhere. 173 songwriter. Well, thanks for coming in, though. I appreciate it, even at this time. You avoid paid parking, but if you need to spend money to get parking free, you just buy some gloves or supplies. If it's like $20, look, go and get yourself some chow, buy a set of gloves or something rather than paying the parking if you're at a company that won't pay it. I think companies should pay it. Okay, companies should pay it. Just took you 30 minutes to Tamarack. That's right, free showers and showers on the Ohio Turnpike as well with that. And Ohio Turnpike also laundry. So really something. John, that's great. If the barricade doesn't say no parking, I've been known to move them and park. Gotta love chains and a flatbed. Okay. You make your own parking. The helmets are cool. Yeah. Look, if you bought a helmet, it should give you like free Love's parking for, you know what it should do is give you free showers for a month or something. Although they're probably expensive enough where it almost does, really. I'm curious about this. They want you to work after your 10-hour break and you're tired. What is the solution? What's the solution to that? Oh, Wild Bill, yeah, what's up with the job? I thought you were going to quit. Hey, what's going on? Oh, really? Blue Pear, yeah, you did it all. You caught everything up. I appreciate that. Tamarack is the building behind the center. They have an awesome buffet. Right, it's the art building or whatever, but that's what everybody calls it. Yeah, showers in Ohio are free. Bring your own supplies. Caskets, and you have them tarped. Oh, really? Well, that's really, I've seen the vaults. That's what I'm saying. So, okay, yeah, you need to tarp them because we can't have them getting ruined before people spend $18,000 for them to throw them in the ground. I love it, right? As you see, I'm not a huge fan of using caskets. When do I think 50% of fleets are automated? Already. Of large fleets? Absolutely. Freightliner said like 70-some% of the trucks they sell are automatics. Okay, but I read it wrong. So when are 50% automated? 2100. Seriously. It's decades before they start to make any kind of dent at all. In the industry. A 20 per night rental on tarp and then tarp again, no problem. Yeah, right, at 20 each. Well, you can just roll the tarp back, kind of. So as you use these two, you just roll them. Tell them they'll be tarped up at night. It'll be quiet in there. Finally, the U.S. Express, nice. And now you're with Bar None. What do you think? My income doubled. Oh, imagine that. Right. Ironically, Bar None, Par Swift, right? My worst check at Bar None is better than my best check at U.S. Yes. They're just, the pay there is really, really good. And I'm glad that you were able to get more money, because now you do the same work for way more money. That's life-changing. Thanks for telling us that. Atlanta Petra is paid parking. Yeah. It's the whole lot, though. It isn't just a few spots. People are griping because there's 10 spots. Some of the truck stops, the entire truck stop is paid parking. Do I like fishing? No. I haven't went forever, and you're going to start fishing as much as possible. I'm thinking about all the trout when driving in the Northwest. Not really outside. I burn in about 3 minutes, so unfortunately no fishing. Right. There's always free parking somewhere. Fishing only at Red Lobster. You just have to have you have to be able to find it in the middle of the night. Pretty much every town has a commercial industrial area where you can park. People park at the mall here. There's all closed down Kmart and stuff. There's always only a few trucks in there. You'd have to come into town, but I mean, there's parking around. The Loves in South Carolina. I've heard people say, by the way, they park at an industrial park and back into a dock. And then they use that as their wake-up call. So in the morning, the people come in and knock on the door and go, who are you? You go, oh, I thought this was my stop, and it's like a wake-up call. I think the Loves in Columbia has some paid spots. Can't remember. That would be one of the first Loves that did it. I thought that, I thought that they didn't do it at Loves. You get fired twice a year, but you only quit every 3 years? Yeah, we wish it was that good. Fish and hook you up here at U.S. Express. And some people like it. It isn't for me. You wish had the Oasis on the highway. I don't know why they don't do it. If the government built the spots, the 2,500 spots, and a building, they could lease that out. And I think that it would go. I really do. You'll be dead by then. Yeah, it's not going to affect really to any extent any of us. I just don't see it happening. Look, many of you have the radar in the truck, right? How does that do? Does that do any kind of good? No. It's horrible. Couldn't companies band together and provide common parking spaces for any truck as long as one company allows the other company to park? They could, and I don't know why they don't do it. I'm surprised, really, that more large companies don't build their own parking at places other than their terminals. I'm surprised they don't do it and really rent the spots out to other companies. It seems like, that'd be the thing to do. I'm starting to see private lots around, but not that many. When they come fully automated, you're buying a cab over Jimmy and becoming a pirate. That's awesome. You could fly the pirate flag up there. If truck stops that don't allow parking until late at night, part of the problem is drivers filling up the truck stops too early. Well, they're trying to get parked too, I guess. You want to do when you leave your own company? Yeah, you should. That's what we all want to do. Those biscuits at the Red Lobster, aren't those the best? That's worth going just for those. Walmart has been towing trucks. I don't recommend Walmart's ever. It's too risky to park at one and you get that big thing slapped on your windshield. Fernando, what's going on? Enjoy watching the video. I appreciate that. And most of the questions are answered. Oh, good. Thank you very much by watching the videos. Yes, there's a lot of answers in the videos, and thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. You can always write me right here on the screen. You have a hot biscuit, right? Loves company policy. Parking is always free. Do you think it will stay that way? When you get out over the road, you park at Planet Fitness to park and get a little workout when you're done driving. They don't all have parking, though. Is there a way to find out Planet Fitnesses over the road that have truck parking? If not, that would be a good app for somebody to do. The one here in Lafayette, you can put 5 trucks, maybe 5 trucks in it, and park it overnight, but you wouldn't know that until you showed up there, whether there was room for you. Radar's no good. Same with the camera. I agree. It's horrible on there. It comes with the truck, though. No, John, yeah, I won't. Believe me. Pro tip to the company driver, just unplug the lane indicator sensor. You can pull that thing out and unplug it, but it's still the radar, at least, still stays on the trucks. And, of course, for any company driver, doing that probably violates your company policy and could get you terminated. So I probably don't recommend it. It is something you could do, but I don't recommend it. Texas Roadhouse dinner rolls, those are very good too. It's a totally different kind of roll. Ontario, California is worth paying to see the action in the smaller one. And I call the one smaller because it has 10 less showers in it. That's what the smaller one seemed to have more action. The one with more showers had less to watch, certainly. Just want to do park in Swift lot and pay. Did it with cash and your front end. I think that I'm surprised that companies don't do this. They should at least build their own lots for their own trucks, if nothing else. You just usually call it and ask if they have enough parking for big rigs. Oh, that's a good idea. The problem with that, I think, is the person you talk to may not know. Or they'll be like, yeah, there's room. So I guess that's always a crapshoot, right? Just like calling a customer for directions. Oh, we get trucks down here all the time, right? And then no trucks ever. The branches are 8 feet off the ground. I guess it can be risky, but it'd be a good app. I mean, it really should go. The Planet Fitness should add that to their app, but I think it would be a good standalone app. That's for somebody that's an app developer. That's it. Anytime towing. What's going on? Was towing a poo-poo pumping truck. Yikes. What happens when you tip that thing up? Question about personal use on owner ops. If you go off duty on your non-CDL Dodge Ram, can you drive it for personal use during your 10 or 30-hour break? Certainly. It's your truck. And if you're non-CDL, are you even keeping a logbook there? But yeah, if you're not driving it for company use, you can drive it for whatever use you want. Since you own it, you don't need permission. It's your truck. So absolutely. Maybe it's DOT'd on the side, but for a non-CDL, you should have no problem. You were at a Walmart in Orlando. You're a bobtail, went in to do shopping, came out, and they called a wrecker. Yeah, sometimes they just sit in front of you. Some of them slap this big windshield thing on the front of your windshield so you can't go anywhere. Honey butter, yeah. Look, I'm concerned about anytime towing, tipping that truck up and following that truck around. Yikes. Should you advertise the bypass on the collision mitigation system or keep it to yourself? Look, you can type anything you want, and drivers, always do everything at your own risk. Company drivers, certainly anything you do, of course, as a company driver probably violates your policy at company and would probably terminate you. What I would say not to do on the radar is do not cut out a piece of cardboard the size of the unit on the bumper, wrap it in aluminum foil, and then use black tape to tape it to it so you can't see it, because that would block the signal from getting out through the metal, and it would stop it from working. But you should not do anything like that. That's what I'm saying. So there's an idea of something not to do. Don't do it. Google Maps can sometimes give you a good idea about the parking. Yeah, I guess you could satellite view it, right? But it's not current, so you don't know if there's trucks there right then. But that's a very good idea. Swift has a terminal next door to the Petro in Sparks, correct? Yet the Petro's full of Swift trucks. Yeah, because nobody wants to park at Swift. The Petro's got all the chow and showers and everything. If you're out of state on a break, yeah, the personal conveyance shouldn't make any difference to your location. You're off duty. It's your truck, so you've obviously given yourself permission, so no problem. The raters are good as long as the truck is not being used, as the DOT says, for a business purpose. Is it at the direction of a motor carrier? No. Is it a non-business purpose? Yes. So you're good on it. The radars are good and a good safety feature. It's neat because it shows the speed of the vehicle ahead. I do like that. So you can make a list of companies that drive 62 and decide not to work there. That's a good idea too. I like it in the fog because it can see through the fog, and so if it suddenly says 0 on it, you have an immediate problem. Anytime towing. Okay, good. So all I can picture is you lifting this truck up, and out the back is just, when you get there, it's empty. That's all I'm saying. Do I have 2 flags in the back of the chair? Yes. This is America. It's double flags. Most Walmarts want big truck or RV if you will get a ticket or towed by owner's expense. I don't like parking at Walmarts. I never recommend people park there. It's too risky. By the way, anybody who's traveling through Indiana, I'll say this for parking. You can get off at exit 172 on I-65. There's a Meijer there. You can see it right there. They allow you to park in there. So that's parking. Some drivers park there all weekend. Trucks are in there all the time. They still allow it. Don't be crazy and block the front of the store. They're going to ban everybody. But there's truck parking right there. 168, there's a small truck stop with maybe 12 spots in it. It's like a gas station. But at the 172, there's a Meijer, and there you can fit some trucks in there, so you can always stop in there. Holland and other companies are in there at night dropping and hooking trailers too, so they're totally good with it for now. And the store's open 24 hours a day. When you block the radar, the cruise doesn't work. Yes, it does. If you press cruise, it says, at least on my truck, do you want to go in manual mode? Okay. And then it just does it manually like the old cruise. So that's how it works on this one. A trainer at England was bragging about 1,200 to 2,000 a week, said England has top paying mentors. He's bragging about 1,200 as a trainer? Yikes. Did he do a video about that? Well, he probably just came from being a driver when he was making 400. Trucker Pat that saved your butt at timer 10. That seems to be better. It's still crowdsourced, but better. Arnold Transportation. By the way, I saw them at the truck show at Matt's, and he's like, oh, yeah, we need to get on your channel, right? I'm like, all right, talk to me, nothing. All right. Arnold Transportation has allowed me time off work for your wife's surgery today. That's nice. Can everyone pray for your wife as a successful surgery? We hope your wife does just fine in that surgery, and everybody will be thinking of you. Let us know how it goes. Good afternoon, Mark, and thank you to Arnold for doing that. That's very good. Good afternoon. Missed your last 2 Mondays. What the heck? Live stream people need to hate and share. They need to hate the like button. Yes, please hate the like button. I get what you're saying, though, and I appreciate you being here. Thoughts on U.S. Express per diem? I'm no fan of per diem. I don't like it, especially if they take some of your pay away. You reduce the amount of money you earn on your taxes. So if you go to buy something, you didn't make much money. If you get hurt, which drivers are very likely to get hurt, Things happen to drivers, stuff goes on and you get injured, stuff like that could happen. But seriously, and so your workman's comp is based on your income and you don't want that. So I'm no fan of it at U.S. Express or anywhere else. If you hold the mode button down for a specific time, it kicks it into diagnostics mode, non-operable in Chicago. Okay, I didn't know that. James Faust, yes, that is awesome. Thank you. Brad from ShipX in Oklahoma. How's it going at ShipX? I was just mentioning your company a little earlier today. Steel Horse, yeah, U.S. Express. Just the pay there, just enough reason not to go there. 1,200 with 4 bunk truck. Yeah, I mean, you got all those students and you're making $1,200 a week. The trainer should be paid the most money, and I would like to switch the way trainers are paid so that trainers do not get any money until the student successfully gets off your truck and completes their final test to become a solo driver. Then you get your money. If they don't pass it the first time, they come back with you and you don't get paid anything until they pass it. That would change the way people are trained. Blue Lion, you're quite welcome. I certainly hope everything goes fine. U.S. Express trailers at the Swift terminal in Memphis. They probably have some kind of interchange agreement on the load. I wouldn't find that unusual. The cruise doesn't work on your truck if the radar doesn't work. They must have the feature locked out. Maybe. So if your radar is off for rain or whatever, and you go to set your cruise, on mine it says radar disabled, something to the effect of, do you want to go cruise a manual mode, something like that, and then you have to hit OK again, and then it allows you to set the cruise, and it just does it like trucks used to. So I didn't know that was a setting, but they must have it turned off, so that makes you... The problem is then if the radar doesn't work, you don't get cruise control. Autocorrect does what it wants. Yeah, sometimes it does, right. I guess your company has it locked out. Go tell them, hey, put this back on, although they'll probably do what they do here. When I say that to them, they go, yeah, who cares what you think about it? So, but maybe because they think it's safer or whatever, that you're not going to use it. Sometimes, though, too many bugs makes the thing stop working in the summertime. I mean, I got to go Rain-X the stupid thing to keep the bugs half off of it. And that's why I know automated trucks are quite some time away, because we can't even get a radar to work in the rainstorm, and then a truck is going to drive itself around? No way, right? The trainer policy I spoke about is rough. Some people just don't get it and shouldn't be a truck driver. It is, but look, I think people, if you want to be, I'm not opposed to paying the trainers, and they'll get all their money, but the student needs to pass their test, and it would be up to the trainer If the student says they're ready and the trainer agrees, and they go take the test, and the trainer gets their pay. If not, then why should you get paid? You should get paid for the things that you do, production, not the things that you're not doing. So that way it encourages you to actually train somebody and not just use them for extra miles, because that's not how it should work, certainly. You're in Superman Town. Oh, nice. And never used a cruise, so not sure about that. Really? How do you go the whole day without using cruise control? Who could we write to email to change the things in the industry? Well, Black Smoke Matters may take care of that this Friday. It's tough to change the entire industry. It really is tough. You could there's a survey that I have on the site here. You go take that survey. They're writing a paper about the industry. That would be very helpful. You unplug the radar. Automatic braking is terrible. That's the downside to it. But how do you go all day without cruise control? Does anyone know a good place to get your alignments done? That's a good question. For people that just started, that just came in, check out this dash video. Look how close. I'm going 65 here. This truck from Southern Freight Service, holy moly. He's right behind that car. It's just crazy. That is unnecessary. I wrote to them. I still haven't heard from them, which is disappointing. I wrote to their safety department about it. It bothered me so much. That kind of thing shouldn't happen in the industry. That's way close. Things are doing pretty good. ShipX has expanded their bonus program to make even more money after they offer $1,000 to orientation. That's even better. That is even better. That place does really great there. It is possible there to make $2,000 if you're really willing to work it. I think you need 15,000 miles a month or something, but that's not bad. So they should announce it. I haven't seen anything about that. I'm surprised. He writes to me, the guy there, he ought to write to me and said, hey, that's really good. There are a lot of idiots. Look, if we're going 70 and you're 20 feet behind a car, it doesn't make any sense. Yours won't allow you to override the cruise either. Okay? You like all the things you can do. You like all the things you could do now. Yeah, right. I've learned all these new things. Oh, wow, Bill, you might not have been here earlier, right, to see some of the other stuff. How about that? Right. Oh, yeah. Knife. Yes, we are all about it today, right? So got all that fancy stuff. Look, this 10 hours driving sleepy, right? Nobody said anything about that. But if we allow companies to just dictate the schedule, then you're just going to be tired all the time. I don't know what the solution to that is in general freight. If we say, well, you can drive whenever you're awake, drivers will drive forever. And if we allow the company to determine that, they'll let you drive 24 hours a day or even make you drive 24 hours a day. So there needs to be some kind of cutoff and some kind of amount of time where the company can't bother you and make you get up every day. What is the solution to that? I like that the ELD and all that holds the company responsible more than anything else. Monday must be my weekend. No, I work today. I'll be working shortly. Lots of practice and you're more alert and situationally aware without the cruise. Okay, well, it just seems like, a whole day of holding the pedal down just seems annoying to me, really. Having automatics encourage truck drivers to carry over their personal bad habits. I don't know, because most drivers drive to work in an automatic. And do they have bad habits? Do people have bad habits in their cars? Cars are some of the best drivers on the road. GR has been tired for 15 years. Yeah, that happens. But what if there was no sleeping limit? Like, sleep until you're awake. When you feel you're awake, you can drive. Then what? How you'd have to drive every single day. You'd have to drive 24 hours a day. There'd be no rest at all. So there has to be some kind of limit set. There has to be. Anyone have a recommendation on 12-volt plug-in coolers? Oh, you have a day cabin, you need a cooler? Wow. Bringing all that chow. At least you could bring good food with you then, rather than having to stop somewhere and keep it cool. And always when I had one, I bungeed it to the seat next to me so that it wasn't any issue. Now that there's some new people, I'll ask this again. Who is taking April 12th off? Who's off this? Remember, it's Black Smoke Matters. It's strike day. That's this Friday. We're supposed to not work, take the day off. Who's taking off the day in honor, and who's going to block the highway? Because they said some people are going to be blocking the highway and some people are going to just not come into work. Does anybody think they'll have a big effect on that? And who thinks that's going to do anything for the industry at all? Unless it was like in the 70s where literally the highways were blocked off, which they did for a while. Drivers should be treated like the same as any other employee and should be paid by the hour. Yeah, all drivers should get hourly plus overtime. Every one of us. Then you'd log everything legal. Oh, that'd be great. Would you speed? No, I bet this guy on SFS wouldn't be speeding. You'd log all your time legal. You'd be arguing with the company about all your logged on-duty time instead of trying to get more off-duty time. That's the answer. How to change it? It can change one company at a time, but people are probably unwilling to do that. So I don't know that the industry will change it. You're not going to be able to government mandate it. They can't set the pay like that. That's not how it works here in the United States. But you could change it one company at a time. Am I familiar with IUVO? No. They also have job offers on Craigslist. Guaranteed base of 65. No, I haven't heard of them. I haven't seen their ads. You'll block the toilet. You need 3 days to affect something to the government, people's pockets. You stop the roads and they'll do like they did in the 70s, which is have the National Guard come out, tow the trucks off the roads. That's what they'll do. That's what they did in the 70s, early 70s. That's what they'll do now. Have I seen any of those Samsung big screens on the back of trucks yet? They want to improve safety. No, I've only read about them, where you can sort of see through the truck. When you trained, you did 2 weeks, local, bunch of drop-in hooks, then over the road. That's good. They should show you everything that they're doing. If all the truckers did it, it would make a difference, but not just a day. It should be for weeks. Certainly that 1 day is going to be hard enough. Weeks would never happen. The solution is to do it one company at a time. Pick a company, doesn't matter, company X. It's got to be a large company, thousands of trucks. On Monday, you shut them down, tell them at noon, call this number. You need a spokesman. And every truck stops and they all send a Qualcomm message in at noon, call this number. Nobody drives till we call that number. What are they going to fire everybody? They can't fire you on the road. Because then once you're fired, you're not responsible for the truck anymore. And because there's so many trucks, they'll have to listen. You can't be irresponsible and say, we're company drivers, we want $2 a mile. That's not going to happen. But you could certainly get a raise in pay and stuff just by closing them. You probably could do a 30-minute break and be back on the road before anything happened. I will make sure I work that day. I feel bad for your truck if you block that way. I totally agree. I'm going to see if I can do extra work on Friday. It's just the way they're going about it is ridiculous. You like the Igloo cooler? The best one out there is made by AOBRD. You'll pay a lot for it. How much is a lot? I heard it's mainly affecting Indianapolis. No, that was the last strike when they did a slow roll. This is nationwide. I anticipate there may be as many as 90 drivers participating. So that's why I wondered if any of you would be participating in it. Anytime talk, it might be good for your business if it blocked the highway. Yeah, maybe. You can come out, maybe you could get a government contract to tow everybody off the road. That'd be really good. God bless warm weather. We'll just leave it at warm weather, right? These 34 restarts kill me. Sleep at first, then the rest of the time you're bored, you fall asleep. Then when you need to sleep, you're awake. What's the solution, though? Here's the thing. If you didn't have that, the companies could work you. I think it holds the companies to something. That's what I'm saying. Without a restart, without a break, companies, you'd work forever. You would never be off of work. Demand you get cell phone holders. I send everybody to CFI to go to work now because they provide company-provided cell phone holders. You'll take off if Black Smoke Matters will pay your bills. They're going to say, look, if you take off, you'll get a raise, and so your bills will be paid. You'll say 20. Well, there were like 40-something just when they did the Indianapolis slow roll a couple months ago. So I think that they're going to, they're going to at least come close to doubling that kind of thing nationwide. Were they finding 90 real drivers? I didn't say there'd be real drivers in it. There'll be drivers that are interested in the Black Smoke Matters movement, certainly, which if you've seen some of them, I don't know. But I do think that they will get, there'll be some around the news. You'll see it on the news and stuff that day a little bit. Oh, here's 2 people that shut down and Let's go talk to this driver. And then it's always some guy in a long-nosed truck that gets 4 miles to the gallon complaining that the rates are low. That's always who they find to talk to, and it's some old international from the 80s. It's 70 in Chicago. Oh, that's awesome. It's going to be super nice here, too. What are we looking at here? 68 here right now. Blocked highways get you shot. Other drivers are going to be pretty mad about it. If they actually manage to get 3 across the highway or something, I think that's going to be a huge problem. If management your hours, you shouldn't need a 30 for a restart. It depends how people run you. Some places really run you. K&B doesn't do a 30 for a restart. No, they have the police come and wake you up and get you moving again. All the drivers that you saw had brand new Pete's. Oh, not 100,000, way more than that for a new truck. $100,000 truck. The ones that were in Indianapolis, there was a cab over leading the parade, and then some huge long-nosed trucks. One guy had a big sleeper where the sleeper was $100,000 on it. And he's like, we're not making any money. This guy's driving a $300,000 truck around that gets 4.5 miles to the gallon. Oh, I'm surprised you don't make any money. Right. You tour the city with your 34s. That's a good way to do it if you got some time off and the company will let you. You got to have a company that will allow you to leave the truck. You can't just leave the truck wherever you want, certainly. But if they'll let you and you can rent a car or get an Uber somewhere, go see the town. I mean, depending on where you are. You're starting 34-hour Thursday, so guess you're shutting down. So you'll be shutting down for the thing. You're on their side. I got it. 3 miles to the gallon. These people that are getting subpar mileage are the ones griping about the rates. But what is there to do with the rates? They're going to gripe to the government that the government overregulates everything and that they need better rates. Well, okay. I thought the government overregulates everything. Yeah, Mad Maldy, exactly. They're not making any sense at all. Rates are low because carriers invite brokers to negotiate rates, making more than the carriers, but they're needed. Blah, blah. Yes. They have the huge problem. There was an article this week, and I should have linked it, which I didn't, right? Duh. But it talked about companies like England and all these large training companies. They actually did a study about it that said the rates are low because of them. They encourage students, which they make less money, allowing them to lower their rates, get more freight, putting companies that pay out of business, that pay a decent rate, and then then these places try to force their more experienced drivers out, and then they get more students, and it's a big circle. They do their own rate lowering to get more business. It was really interesting. Shutting down alienates everyone. It won't help the industry. Yeah, it's not going to help anybody. Except the few people that shut down, it's not going to help them either. You run your hours in 4.5 days to 5 days, doing nothing but dropping hooks. So they're really rolling you, right? Rates are low because of supply and demand. Yes, I mean, rates are low because that people will take it for that amount of money. It's just as simple as that. People think that buying a truck, they're just automatically going to make money. It doesn't work that way. You're running a business. So if rates go down, you can get hosed and go bankrupt. That's part of the reason that I stay as a company driver. I'll get paid no matter what the rate is. I get paid, so I don't have to worry about the rate. That's another reason I'm not a huge fan of percentage pay. Some people like it, but for me, I'm not a fan. I want to make sure that I'm going to get paid every week, regardless of what happens in the industry. You received a call from your company. They found out you're trying to go to a different company. They said you'll increase your hourly rate. Oh, nice. That's pretty good. I was hoping they would say that rather than the next line, you're fired. Okay. I wonder how they found out. Whenever you apply, that's a pretty good thing. Usually there's a checkbox that says, don't contact my current company if you've actually applied there, right? Always check that and tell them, look, I work here. Don't call them until, we talk. So that's just some good advice. But yeah, okay, so you got a raise. I think you got your answer. You were hesitant anyway about leaving. Maybe you should have Robinson load boards. Do they not pay much on there? If the load is out for 30 cents and nobody takes it, the rate has to go up. Eventually goes up to a price that somebody can haul it. And if you're going to buy one truck and then you think, oh, I'm going to compete, with these large carriers, it's tough to do. Cassius King Trucking is on here. I don't know if he's still on here, but, he just did a load last week which had like tons of pickups and stops on it. It's like 7 stops, I remember, and 3 pickups. Crazy. And so that kind of load, nobody wants to haul that load. So he took that load and made really good money on it. But he's doing something that the large carriers don't want to do. So he doesn't have to compete with them on load boards. I think that's really good. It's recommended viewing, really. This 50-quart cooler is $980. Oh, my God. It's made for off-road. Yeah, to be on its own off-road. Really not good, but not in your price range. That's the price of a refrigerator. You have an inverter and refrigerator with separate freezer. Holy mackerel. $980. Uber Freight, that's another way to get a load. Because you applied for U.S. Foods and they asked to verify your employment. Yeah. I don't know how to get around that. I kind of would tell them probably no. Of course, I've been here. I only put one place down because I've been here so long, so they have no way to verify it. I don't know. I think you got lucky, to be honest with you. I've heard of people saying, oh, well, you're fired then, So if it's a significant enough raise, it's probably worth staying. They obviously don't want you to leave. They like you. Because they could have just as easily said, oh, you want to go somewhere else? Fine. Go. And you're fired. So that says something about a place. It really does. C.H. Robinson is known as cheap, heavy, and robbery. Oh, is that what that stands for? Did I ever hear from Crete about the recruiters? Okay, you were not here early. You had to do that, whatever that job thing. The Crete update, which there's going to be a video later this week about it. Crete said, okay, a number of people sent Crete my video where I was griping at the live show that the recruiters didn't talk to me. They didn't like answering questions. Well, some people sent that video to them, and Crete responded to them on their Facebook page. And then people sent that to me, okay, that I am just seeking attention, and they're not going to give me the attention that I'm seeking by responding to me. But here's the thing. The attention they say I'm seeking, that weekend I wrote to Crete privately in an email and said, hey, your recruiters were not forthcoming. Do you think we could talk about this? No answer. Okay, so that's private. That wasn't out here on YouTube or anything. My video about them didn't come out till Wednesday. I wrote to them on Sunday morning. That is the definition of not answering questions, I would say, when you get a question and you don't answer it. Because they were saying I was, misconstruing what happened. I wasn't being accurate. Well, they didn't answer my question. I sent them a question, which they didn't answer. So that is exactly not answering. And the attention that they're seeking, right, their channel is only 20% the size of this one. So always look into that stuff. Who's going to get the better attention? Them. So when I mention them, they get attention. They probably know that. They're like, well, we'll use this guy and he'll mention us and we'll get some attention. So I thought about that, but I thought, no, because they're saying I'm basically lying, I have to talk about that. The attention that I'm seeking, all I want is their recruiter to answer questions. He wouldn't even get up. Okay, recruiters can't be bothered to stand up. One guy never even looked up. He's still on Friendster over there, whatever he's doing, I don't know. The other guy, no. Can I ask you questions? Have them come down to the booth. They're not here. It's live. Do you know how live internet stuff? Okay, here's the phone number. He gave me the number of the recruiters. All right, so I finally got to ask him one question about cameras and left, and he's like, okay, see you later. Nothing. You got to be, have some passion about your company. Yeah, come on in to create. Oh, you have 60 people live? Sit down. Let me talk to everybody. I want everybody to work here. They're going to love it so much after I tell them about it. They're all going to want to apply immediately. That's how good it is here at Crete. And he should have said, I'm going to tell you the truth. Even if it isn't the answer you want, you're going to get the truth here from me, this recruiter right here at Crete. Come on and sit down. Here's my car. Take my car for a drive. You like it? I got a vacation home you can use. Stuff like he should have been nicer about it. Not, I'm just going to answer questions from my chair here by giving you a phone number. That's not the way to sell anything, because the recruiter's a salesman for the company. He represents Crete. It might be the only chance they get to get a driver there is by that guy talking to somebody. And sitting on your phone playing Words with Friends is not going to get people. So me seeking attention, I don't think so. I don't think so. Drivers should get to choose when they drive based on how they feel. However, if they're involved in an accident and found to be at fault, they and the company should be subject to fines. When does the company, so you say, I'm tired, and they go, well, you got an appointment. I'm tired. They go, well, you have an appointment. Now what? We need a regulation on our side to tell the company, no, I'm parking because I have to park. There just has to be, or the company will make you drive 24 hours a day. There'll be no solution for it. They don't want to fire people because they're short on drivers. Good. That works in your benefit. You got more money. But still, they could be aggravated by it and fire you. I get those kind of emails all the time. That somebody puts in, goes talk somewhere or whatever, and then that's it. They go, okay, get out of here. So I think that really does say something about the place. And if you like it, it may be worth staying there. Thomas, you're on Keep the Dirty Side Down. Yeah, hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. You have in-cab fridge freezer. Nice. And your own fridge. Wow. Hauling all kinds of food. $80. That's better than $1,000. Holy moly. When there might work for Crete. Well, look, I'm not even down on Crete, I'm down on the recruiter, because the company, I still get tons of emails from people that say, even the people that sent this to me said, look, we love it here at Crete, keep our name out of it, but this is what Crete is saying about you. So I'm doing that, absolutely. And so I don't get any kind of negative stuff about Crete. I'm still a fan of Crete. But to say I'm trying to get attention based on them, their recruiter couldn't even be bothered to stand up. And later this week, I'll have a video cut in of the actual live show. I don't know how I misconstrue a live show. Okay, it was live. Everybody could see it that was on there. I'll cut in the live video. You can see the Crete carrier recruiter doesn't get up. The one guy doesn't even look at me. And when I leave, he doesn't even say anything to me. Like, oh, hey, you got any more questions? Nothing. It was just a poor presentation by the recruiters there. I was disappointed, and then even more disappointed that I wrote to them privately, and they didn't answer, and then said I'm seeking attention when I give them a chance to answer me privately about it. That's the real problem. I mean, I asked them privately to respond, and they had 4 days, and then I find out we're not gonna respond because to give him the attention he is seeking. That's a quote from them. Okay, we'll see what happens. All I want is to know why a recruiter can't be bothered to stand up and talk to me. And still, he never even put his phone down. Obviously, they don't need drivers. That's what I'm thinking. He gave a number to a recruiter. Isn't that what he's supposed to do? No. He's supposed to fill me in on questions when I ask him. He's a recruiter. Can I ask you questions? Here's a phone number of somebody you can call somewhere else. If I was thinking about it, which I didn't, I would have called that recruiter on the spot. I thought about it later. I should have called him on the spot and said, I'm in front of your booth, and the people here don't want to answer questions. What do you think? So that's what I should have done. I didn't think about it at the time. I should have, and I'm sorry about that. There are laws that protect against being sick. There are, but the company's still going to give you problems about it. Steelhorse says he's a recruiter and he's supposed to recruit. Yeah, that's what he's paid to be there for. He's being paid. They could have just had a sign that said, call this number if you have any questions about Crete. They paid 2 people, shipped them out there, in a rental car. I'm sure they don't get a Greyhound. They have their own room and everything waiting there to do what? To give me a phone number to Crete. Here's the number to Crete. Oh, no, really? That's how you do the recruiting? I wasn't a fan of that. I didn't think it was good. And then we compare it to CFI. CFI, they're all happy about their place. Now, the pay at CFI wasn't great, okay? We know that. But look, they at least were excited about it. This is CFI. I'm here to answer your questions, whatever you want. That's what they're there to do, and that's what he should do. You sit a guy, what if you went to buy a car? That's what I ask people. And you go, I have a question, and some guy yells from the office, still sitting down, here's the number, 800-829-FORD. Ask them questions about this car. I'm like, aren't you here representing them? Isn't that what you're doing here? That was the problem with it, and I just felt it wasn't great. And when they didn't answer me privately, why wouldn't they at least answer an email in private? See, the problem is when they answered in private, it's in writing. They don't like that. This way they can say, I'm just seeking attention, and there's nothing behind that, right? If they had written to me, then there's a proof of something. The laws protecting the driver, though, the company, they're going to say, okay, go to sleep then. And then the company is going to be like, well, now you're not going to get any miles, that kind of thing. Or they're going to look, you need to get going, even if the law says you're sick, they still want you to deliver. I really would rather have a hard end to your day where there's nothing they can do about it. Otherwise, they'll just make you drive forever. Make sure to include the pic of a shirtless Crete driver in the top adding your video. Oh man, that guy, what a total disaster that picture was. At least he had a hat on. I try to eat as healthy and not fast food. Pot pies, salads. I'm driving 4 weeks and home for 5 weeks, right? Don't waste your money on food that you can just skip in the middleman and throw right in the pooper. Exactly. The number goes to his office. Oh, that's great. He gave me the number. Probably it goes to his phone. It probably rings. And then it says, I'm sorry, I can't answer. I'm at the truck show right now. I'll get back to you on Monday. Oh, that would have been even better if that would have happened. I wish I was on top of that then. Some days I'm just not on my game because there's so many so many things going on. I'll think about it at the next one. Anybody that gives me the number, I'm going to call them on the spot, the recruiting number, and say I'm right in front of your recruiters and they won't answer questions. So will you answer my questions so that I have some way to do it? But I just didn't think about it on the spot. Some days I'm just not on top of it. As I get late in the show, I'll run this video again. I want everybody to see this, that it may be coming in late. I'm going 65 miles an hour here. This truck is 20 feet behind this car. He's got to be going 70. He's passing me. This was Friday. By the way, I've written to this company. I thought it was so unsafe. Look how close he is. And it's bad enough that he's shoving this car up here. He doesn't even come over. And by the way, he continues on in this lane for some time. He never gets over. So I thought that was just ridiculous. That he shouldn't, he shouldn't do that. So I wrote to them and sent them the video about it as well. And what response did I get? None. I didn't get any response from them either yet. But we're going to hope for a response later, and we'll see what they have to say about that. Hopefully I get a response from them eventually. Stephen, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, for coming in and being a part of the show. I'm live every Monday at 1. I didn't mention this earlier, but, we should all go watch Jay tomorrow, too, at 8 p.m. Central Time at Auto Transport Intel. He had it all going on at the truck show. That's a great show over there, especially if you're interested in car hauling or something a little bit different. Jay can talk about that. He has a lot of owner-operators on the show, some hot shot stuff that I get questions about that I don't know about. That's the way to go at Jay there. So maybe, Steven, we'll see you over there. But I love that, I missed out on a chance. What if the phone would have rang to the other guy there? Maybe that's why he was on his phone at Crete, and he was waiting. The other guy just picks up the phone when the first guy gives out the phone number. Who is taking Friday off for Black Spoke Matters? And who has anything else on this personal conveyance? Remember, they said don't overthink personal conveyance. Am I doing work at the request of the motor carrier? If you are not, then you can consider personal conveyance. Anything you do at the request of the motor carrier is logged. Okay, we all know that. 100% of anything they tell you to do, you have to log, either on duty or driving, depending what you're doing, no matter what it is. So if they make you do something, including a safety meeting, if you're required to be there, it's required to be logged on duty. That's why a lot of these companies, including here, have changed the safety meetings to being voluntary. So when we have a safety meeting now, it's voluntary. That way, you don't have to log it even if you go to it. The DOT has a special carve-out for safety meetings. They're not required to be logged if it is voluntary, even if you're being paid for it. They carve that out. I don't understand it. You're still there. But because it's voluntary, they don't make you log it. I don't make the DOT rules, though. That was something the DOT did. The other question you have to ask yourself is this move of the vehicle a non-business related purpose? So non-business related purposes are personal conveyance. You also have to ask yourself, will my company allow personal conveyance? Some of them don't allow it. What happened to MNX Express? I don't know. They probably got merged with some other large carrier. I'm sure bought them up or whatever. I don't know about that. Personal conveyance cannot be used to get maintenance done on the truck. So if you take the truck to the shop, you take the truck for an oil change, you own the truck and drive it to the shop. That is not personal conveyance, even though you probably log it that way. It's not allowed to be personal conveyance. They made a point to say that, to write it down and say that driving it to the shop, driving it back is not personal conveyance. If you use PC, use the comments. Okay, yeah, thank you, Steel Horse. Yeah, go enjoy the shower and get a roller wiener on us. And but yes, anytime you use PC, you should always comment in there. Even though I don't like using the comments normally, that is a good way to do them. Comment on there exactly what's going on. I'm going to get roller wieners or whatever. And then you can PC legally, which also rhymed. H.O. Wolding got bought up by Bison. Yeah, I saw that last week. If anybody's driving at H.O. Wolding, which doesn't get great reviews really online, hopefully Bison, which is a pretty good place, will help them out. Bison is a Canadian company. They also own some other company up in the North Dakota. I can't remember the name of that either. It's just not a good memory day. I need to go get my ginkgo biloba, but I keep forgetting to take it, and that helps your memory. H.O. Wolding, though, was bought out by Bison. I don't know what'll happen with that. Will they rebrand the trucks? What happens? Does your pay go up to the bison pay? Do you get paid in Canadian money and maple syrup? I don't know. I just don't know exactly what they're going to do about that, really. H.O. Welding doesn't have that many trucks either. And they were looking a little bit raggedy, so hopefully it will improve the company. There aren't that many drivers at H.O. Welding, really. A few hundred drivers, not a ton of drivers. If you haven't heard anyone ask the famous question, Ryan, yeah, I haven't heard anybody ask that here lately. Recently, I don't say who I work for, and that keeps them out of my videos. I also don't get the recruiting bonus from them, which is disappointing. But because, look, every driver, what is it? Every driver on YouTube recruits for their company. Oh, by the way, here's my recruiting thing. I don't do any of that, okay? That keeps them out of my videos and keeps them, keeps me to say whatever I want. Are they still going to keep the H.O. Welding CEO? Oh, are they going to run them as separate companies then? Have they said that? I had a lot going on at the truck show, but I weren't expecting the recruiter to act like they did. Yeah, especially Crete, because look, I have a really high regard for Crete, even though there's still some unpaid time there and stuff. Not as much as other places, but still it's an hour to detention, which I don't like. There shouldn't be unpaid time. They really should have answered questions. They got the two people that are like the least interested in being there. If you don't want to sell the product you're selling, don't sell it. But you're never going to sell it sitting in the corner, no matter what it is, trucking or anything else, by not answering questions for people and not being excited about your product. Britain Transport. Yeah, they own Britain Transport, which is also a good place to work. Thanks, Wild Bill. Yeah, I just changed that policy. I think that's a pretty good policy. Yeah, Britain has always been listed as a good place to work. I've never done a video about them, but I've always thought, oh, this is going to be, this place looks pretty good. I think the next one's going to be JAT, where we're just going to go full out hourly on it. I mean, hourly plus overtime, that is the way to go. Maybe if more people went to a place like that, it would work out better for everybody, because companies need to know that that's the way. Black Smoke Matters on Friday is going to do all this stuff about parking and stupid, all this other ELD stuff. Their real problem is there's so much unpaid time, and they don't ever talk about that. They want to get a higher rate when they'll sit at the dock for 6 hours and not get paid anything. Why don't they worry about getting paid for all of their time? How much more would everybody make if they got paid for every minute that they drove or were on duty? Both of those lines should be paid completely hourly plus overtime. I'm not going to change everything. I'm so sick of seeing nothing but tailgating, speeding, cutting off. Yeah, reckless. The troopers don't care. They don't even care either. It's the sad, if I sent that in, they're not going to do anything about that. But, I sent it to the company because that guy was so close. And the disappointing thing is I still haven't heard anything from them. They've been open all day. That is even worse. I just don't understand it. I'm going to call them here, I think, and ask them, why don't I hear anything about you? Lefty, what's happening out there, Lefty? Where's Britain? Aren't they North Dakota or something? Or are they? I don't remember Britain, right? The dude. Britain Trucking. Where is Britain Trucking? Out of Britain Trucking, TR. I'm going to try to, I'll probably boot everybody off doing this fancy stuff here. I'm always like, I'll try this new technology, and then everybody is gone. I come back, where'd everybody go? Britain is one of their largest cross-border people. I'm looking at this. I don't know how to put it on the screen yet, so I'm going to find out where Britain is at the moment. They are about Britain. Thanks for visiting, Britain. Can we help you today? No, you can't. Okay, their address, they're in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Des Moines, Iowa, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's where they currently are. And everybody's still here. I can't believe it, right, that the show still, that it didn't boot out. So, right, so they're out of the far north there. And so then they will be friends up there, and that will expand them with H.O. Welding. It's just expanding. No companies really start anymore to get big. They just buy other companies. So a place like Bison, for better, expansion into the U.S., they just buy a company rather than, starting a whole new company. It's cheaper, really. That they have everything already in place. They have freight and everything already around. Hell, Lefty, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, Mr. Vinny B says they're in Grand Forks. Yeah, okay. I didn't see that on their thing. Get called an idiot for being up better pay instead of an ELD. I get called an idiot for being up better pay. Chris made it. I don't exactly know how that sentence went right. Being up better pay. Look, better pay is the solution. Changing the hours to more, no. Why don't you get paid more for the hours you already work? There are drivers that write to me all the time. Well, Mark, we need 17 hours or 20 hours a day. Holy crap. Do you not work enough as it is? You saw a pickup truck pulling a 53-foot van trailer? Wow, I don't know. 3,500 would certainly be able to pull that thing, I think. Bill says the earth is flat. There's a crew going to Antarctica. I don't know when they're leaving to prove the earth is flat. Then we'll have conclusive proof. I personally don't need it. You can just look outside and see it's flat. It's so obvious to everybody. When you throw a rock, it's right over there. It's flat, obviously. It's so hourly. How do I get paid hourly salary? I get a salary because my day is so short that they pay me a salary to keep me around, basically, because I have a pretty short day here. Any free burritos today? There's free Steel Horse is getting free roller wieners. So Steel Horse will be providing roller wieners to all people that walk up and say hello. So that's going to be really good. I know they're going to love that when they see that on there. It's free roller wiener day. Burrito, it's always Burrito and Taco Tuesday, and then every CR England pays for that. CR England pays for those on Tuesday. The brain of the ATA is flat. Now that is the statement of the day. Because they came out again just last week and said the government doesn't know what they're talking about. Because a while ago the ATA said there's a driver shortage, which they've been saying. The government did a study, a big study, and said no, there's no shortage. Companies get plenty of drivers. They don't keep them. The government even figured it out and said there's no shortage. It's turnover. That's the problem. And the ATA said, no. That's not true at all. We can't find drivers. But then I get people that write to me all the time from various large training companies and say they hired me and they don't have any trucks for me. They're waiting for trucks. Their trucks are full. Or England builds trucks with an extra bunk in them. So they have 2 extra bunks besides the regular one. So 3 people can go at a time. And if you have just started school or whatever, how many people are in your class if you're at a large company? Name any of these 10 large companies, right? Swift Knight, Werner, U.S. Express, England, Western Express. 40, 50 people a week come in, 60 people. Western has 2 trainings a week. It's 100 people a week. They only got, 1,000 trucks. They train 5,000 people a year. It's crazy. The ATA has no idea what they're talking about. They can't keep people because they don't pay them anything. I mean, who wants to sit around for nothing? It's Target just raised their pay to $13 an hour in the stores. So remember that, everybody that's sitting around for free, and this is not any kind of diss. I want you to really think about this. If you're sitting in a dock for free for hours and hours at a time at one of these large companies like England or wherever it is, there is a 15-year-old going to start here when school's out that gets $13 an hour at Target. So in the 4 hours you sat for nothing, the 15-year-old made way more money than you. And that is sad. What it is sad. And the solution is you got to quit. You cannot tolerate getting nothing for your time. That's the only solution. The government can't solve it. The solution is you cannot do it. Roger Penske disagrees with me on my stance on per diem. With the tax law changes, it's imperative to take it. You got hosed bad. The increase in the personal exemption doesn't come close to the per diem. I agree. My problem with it, here's 2 things. Some companies lower your pay for it. I don't like that. Okay, so if nothing else, don't take per diem if they lower your pay. They shouldn't charge you for it. There's some that don't. You can take, but some will say you're getting 50 cents, or if you get per diem, you get only 48 cents and, then per diem. So they charge you. But look, on your taxes at the end of the year, you make less money. Over a long period of time, you can reduce the amount you get for Social Security. Like I've had some people write in to me and say, look, I'm a few years from retirement, and so I'm not taking this per diem because, this is all figured in my Social Security. And you're hurt on the job. Drivers are very likely to get hurt. Don't believe me? Go call an insurance agent and try to buy workman's comp for a trucking company. Super expensive, right? And long-term disability. Drivers are really highly likely to get hurt. Your workman's comp is based on your salary. if you make only 2/3 of whatever, you're only getting part of what you should get. So I'm just not a fan of it that way. I would rather companies just paid you better rather than trying to get hosed, because they save money. They only pay, Social Security on the part you earn. They only pay all this. They're saving money. You should at least get a raise for it, maybe. Maybe if you got an extra nickel. So I'm just not a fan of it. A Steel Horse got a bigger refund without per diem this year. Oh, really? I think a lot, you probably were planning out. You seem like somebody that is on top of stuff, though. So I think you had that planned out. A lot of people didn't plan for it and had a huge problem. James, thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming in every week. Apparently, Prime and Newsbomb are the top 2 companies. I saw that, right? A number of you sent that to me. I appreciate it. Someone point me to the time portal so you could travel back. Look, Newsbomb is good. When I talked to them last year, they're paying $250 a day minimum salary. So say you sit all day, you got $250. Some people have sat here for days and not get paid anything. At least you got $12.50 for 5 days minimum. And how Prime gets on there, I don't know. I'm surprised England doesn't have more than 3 people in the truck. If they could fit another bed in there, they probably would. But I guess 3, that's 24 hours a day of rolling, right? Since you don't have credit cards, your FICO score is less than 580. You got a $20,000 auto loan with no problem. Oh, and that Mercury, nice. All home mortgages go by gross, so it doesn't matter. Well, you don't gross. Your gross is lower. So what if it keeps you out of debt? Look, I can see your side of it too, right? I totally see your side of it. But, on the injuries and that, it goes by your income. And your gross is your income. So because of that, I'm not a fan. And look, at least we can agree on this. You shouldn't take a pay cut. Because some 50 cents, or they'll say 10 cents per diem and 38 cents. That's 48 cents. You've given up 2 cents. At nothing, you shouldn't at least not have to take a pay cut for it. Like sitting for free, I'm here for mistreatment, not a paycheck. That's my wife and kids' problem. Exactly. It's sad to think that some teenager is going to start their first job at $13 an hour, because Target goes to $13 an hour January 1st. That's what they announced in all their stores. And there are drivers that are sitting around for nothing. A licensed, experienced professional driver is getting paid nothing. Some of them getting paid nothing, ironically, at a Target warehouse while they're unloading their truck, while the people are getting $13 or more an hour. That's what's the crazy part of it. Unemployment and any government free money is also based on gross. Well, no, they've talked about that your gross there is the money you earn, not per diem. That's been talked about by a few tax people and stuff. So any workman's comp, they said, is based on the gross money you make, not including per diem. Western paid you per diem without me signing. Yeah, some places force it, which they're allowed to do. You don't have any choice. And that's probably Western Express, and so I wouldn't doubt anything they do. Hopefully, if you're still there, it's time to start thinking about moving on. Unless you have, some kind of problem that keeps you there. It's the only time I send people there. They'll take you with a felony or not a great record. Otherwise, once you get experience, it's time to move out of that place. Can companies force you to take per diem? Yes, they can force it on you. Per diem is a deduction of gross, just like taxes. Per diem changes the amount you gross, exactly. It's amount that you get paid without paying taxes on it. You had to get USA to take you off per diem. Some of them will do it either way. What do I think of SOAR? S-O, I'm sure it means something that I don't know what that is at the moment. You're dropping hooks, so no sitting for you. Isn't that great? I mean, that's what I do, are dropping hooks. That's the way to roll. You don't have to sit around and wait around. So if you can work that kind of thing out, how much time would that save you a year if you never loaded or unloaded another load? You only dropped and hooked. You've been gone. Remember, I went back to fixing cars. Right. Okay, right. But then, exactly. So what are you going to do? I mean, that's right. Western, what can we say about Western? They force it. They save money on it. It's not great. For people that are listening, if you have felonies, if you have DUIs, if there's something where other companies are turning you down, then when they turn you down, you can turn to us at Western Express. So this message is not sponsored by Western Express in any way. But that's who I send over to Western. And some companies do force it on you. You don't have any choice. There's nothing you can do about it. Some let you choose it, and certainly don't take a pay cut for it, because that 2 cents, that's a couple of $1,000 a year you could get in your pocket if they take 2 cents out of you. don't take a pay cut for per diem. At least they could pay you the same amount of money. Why should you take a pay cut to get per diem? That doesn't make any sense at all. I'm showing this Dash video again. This is really just incredible to me for people that came in. He is so close. He's going 70, I would say. It's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And I got the trailer number and everything off of that. Sent it to the company and no response. Love it. Mobile Home Master. Oh, really? Hey, what's going on, Donald? Keep on trucking, providing good info. I try to. These big carriers, they'll take every nickel you give them. I agree. You know, Crete, even though I recommend them, it's still not the greatest place, but it's better than a lot of them. Even though we had a dust up here a little while ago, and they're going to get another video about it out of it. SOAR equals Kelly's Transport. I don't know who that is. It's the first time you used your real name. Oh, did you change your name on the screen? If you don't have any videos, it's easier to change your name. Is KLLM a lease-only company? No. Every time you pass you, it says lease. No, they love to lease trucks to people, though. Companies love leasing you a truck, renting you their truck. They love doing it. They make a ton, and you go broke. Would I do a car carrier? I don't know. You know, I lived here in town by the Subaru plant, and they hire car carriers all the time. And I've seen them down there in the winter, and it just kind of scares me putting that car up on the top. Because you got to get from the ground all the way up on the top in the ice. And so it just bothers me. And there's so many things. You could scratch a car, you get charged. You know, you got all these other things. So I probably wouldn't do it now. Maybe, you know, in my youth, being in my extreme upper 30s now, I've really thought about it, but not now. I don't think I would now. Plus, I can't get out of the car now. I'm going to get the car door only opens an inch. I'd have to Dukes a Hazzard my way out of the window. What's the benefit of joining OOIDA? Yeah, I'm a member of OOIDA, and I think everybody should join. It's the largest organization for trucking, for independent drivers like us. The benefit is there's no other organization that's that big that we can join to get our voice in Washington. They have people in Washington to talk to congressmen that congressmen will talk to. It helps. It helps a little bit. I don't think they're tough enough on some of the issues, and they're certainly not tough enough on a lot of companies that they should really crack down on. But right now, it's all we've got. There's 700,000 or 800,000 members or something. That's all we've got right now. There's no other. Black Smoke Matters says like 9 members, so they're not going to get anything done. And those guys aren't going to go into Congress. They'd have to shower. So OOIDA is only people, you know, they have a podcast and everything. They, you know, they're out in the media. They're our voice at the moment. And it's not just owner-operators. Company drivers can also join. You get discounts also. They have a legal plan. There's some other discounts you can get. But join because it's the only voice that we have right now. You met somebody from KLLM who was company. That's probably the only person. There are not that many. They push leasing there. They want to lease their trucks to drivers. They sell you this dream, the Lambo lifestyle, I call it. $2,000, $3,000 a week. They sell it to you. And then when it doesn't happen, they just lease the truck to the next person after you go bankrupt. You think it's funny when lease drivers see how much they make, but none of them talk about paying their taxes. Yeah, it's always gross. Oh, gross. And look, so they gross $1,800, $2,000. I see people that isn't that great. You'd have to pay tax and your benefits. People never talk about that when I talk to lease drivers. If they want to talk equal, they have to go buy all the benefits that I get as a company driver as well. Insurance. Buy that for a family. It's super expensive. Long-term disability in trucking is super expensive. Short-term, all my vacation days and holidays that are paid that they don't get. Then we'll talk about who made more money at the end of the year, especially the end per hour. Oh, Steel Horse, you are an OOIDA member? Good. And you're a company driver? Yeah, we don't see too many. So good. Thanks for being saying that out there. I think everybody should join. It's our voice in Washington. I went down there at the show and talked to them too and told them I was a member and everything. They were not that concerned about it. They were like, good, whatever. They were more animated than Crete, though. The important thing drivers need to know is extra monies they are earning through per diem must be invested if they're whining about the loss of Social Security benefits. Well, I'm more concerned. It is Social Security loss, but I'm really more concerned about getting hurt because you could potentially have an injury and get thousands of dollars less a year for the rest of your life, depending on what happens to you. And the company has saved that money and doesn't give it to you. Our company trucks say lease to Marvin Keller. That's because he bought them with his second company and leased his trucks to himself. Oh, brilliant. So you're saying KLLM may have a separate company that that company buys the trucks and leases them to KLLM. That's a pretty good tax deal. Yeah, Steel Horse, I sent everybody for the roller arenas. I don't know. I thought you were getting some for everybody. Is being an owner-operator worth it? Not to me. I mean, I'm not against it if you want to do it. Cash is King Trucking, who was on here earlier. He has a channel and goes through all the numbers. That's who I'd talk to about it. You know, he's an owner-operator, owns his own truck. He owns the truck. So not leasing it from somebody. And he goes through his numbers, specifically every load. So write to him. He has more information. It's not for me. It may be for you. I like to having paid vacations and not worrying about the truck. That's me. Cassins is union. Yeah, car hauler, and was at the show. I did not see them, though. I didn't see Cassins there. I've talked about the United Road here on the channel, though. I have a dream that everyone buys a truck from me 3 times the price you paid for it, and only after the warranty is used up. Yeah, isn't that a great deal? It seems like a great deal for you. Leasing a truck from a company has got to be the worst way to do it. If you guys are company drivers, why are you OIDA members? See, that's the problem. I think they have a bad name, which they started. It's Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association. It's also company drivers. We all get together there and our members and pool it. So company drivers can also join. They should put that out there more too. They're not really that forceful about it. Company drivers also can join OIDA. You didn't like being an owner-operator? What did you not like about it? You were an owner-operator for Mayflower, $2,600 in the 80s. That's good. After expenses and all hours divided by net, I might have been making $10 an hour. Yikes. So that isn't any good. And then if you figured in the stuff a company driver gets, it would be even less. After lease, you were leased a few years back, and after deductions, you were owed $1,200 Fed and $900 state, and gross $210 and an occasional insurance. But you had a profit of $25,000, not for the year, I hope. You profited $25,000. That would be eaten up just by vacations and stuff for a good company driver. Out of $210, you should have netted more than $25,000. I mean, holy moly. You spent $60,000 in fuel a year running a reefer. Wow. You should, but see, if you own the truck yourself, like Cassius King Trucking, some loads he gets $3 a mile on because of the way he owns the truck and works with brokers. He really goes through a lot of it. I think it's really interesting. I still wouldn't do it. Okay, but, because it's not for me. But people that lease, I haven't had a lease person yet, after expenses and taxes and insurance and all that stuff, say they're making any more than a good company driver. You're back. Your opinion, if you're a flatbedder, it's good, not so much pulling a box. Yeah, I don't know. Does flatbed pay more? I mean, the pay seems to be about the same for company drivers on flatbed. And that's up and down like anything else. If your truck breaks down for a week, you are hosed. It depends on whether you have a warranty, you're still not paid for that week, travel and all that. To me, it isn't worth it for me. But, it doesn't mean I don't recommend it necessarily. Leasing, no way. Leasing from a company, no. The only way to do it would be an owner-operator out on your own, where you actually own the truck. You haven't leased it from anybody else. So as I go to 3:30, I'm going to roll the video again, and then I'm going to head on out to make the company some money, as they say. Look at that. That's 70 miles an hour. That's just crazy. I'm still waiting for a response from them. I'll let you know what they have to say about it, if anything. If anything. Nothing yet, certainly. Hated the downtime during breakdown. That's a problem. You got to pay for all that. You're from Illinois, and the fuel is the higher. That's correct. I mean, it just didn't seem to make any sense to me. That's why I never decided to do it. You're a member, so you have a voice in Washington and all their other benefits. Yeah. Together, we actually get a voice. They have people in D.C. right now. It's the only trucking organization dedicated to drivers that has that kind of voice. There's nothing even coming down the pike that even looks like it's going to be close. A guy at Prime said after getting out of the trainer's truck, he leased a new truck. Oh, for $1,700. Oh, well, what a great payment that is. $1,700 a week. Oh, my gosh. Alex is checking out. Thank you for being here. Me too. Wow, Bill, I appreciate you coming in today. Thank you very much. And so I am headed off to make the company some money. And be sure to check in with the Crete video this week. We'll have a response to them. Thank you for sending me stuff. You can always write to me, mark@truckinganswersnation.com. And thank you, everybody, for being here. You have to check with a tax attorney, then we'll kill it. But check with him first before you get the answer first before you, before you do any of that. We don't want to do that till you get the till you get the answer. Just got a clean level 3. Oh, and I love that sticker, right? I keep that thing clean when you get that sticker, leave it out there so that everybody can see it and they don't bother you. Right. That's the best feeling. Oh, look, I passed and you didn't. I love it. It's just the smallest things amuse us. Right. So anyway, I'm headed out to work. I want to thank everybody for being here. And of course, we will be back next week with more trucking answers and of course during the week. So send me everything and I will see you on the next one.